Why are you so hot?
That's a song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
For somebody.
That's a collection of notes and melodies. Melodies, these nuts.
Mm-hmm. You understand?
Mm-hmm. I do. I do understand, actually. That was pretty good.
I still got it.
That was really good. That was impressive.
I still got it. It's been many moons.
Mm-hmm. We really said, hey, let's like get Denny's and then like talk the entire time and have a good time and then let's hit record.
Yeah,
and just lose everything.
It was a choice. It was a classic episode 1.
You can't call her Phil.
Although episode 1 we did like pretend that we hadn't.
That's true.
We were like, let's just have the same conversations.
A wild. Yeah. Like we really said, we're going to practice the script.
Yeah, it was I can't remember what, there was a different episode, like 2 episodes later, where we were like, wow, we already said everything.
Yeah. Damn, we had the whole conversation.
Yeah, we went to lunch and just talked, and now it's like,
we can't do that. But at the same time, Denny's was good.
It was good.
It was actually a pretty like good experience in terms of there was no negative things that happened to me.
For once. Well, I was, when you had said that, I was about to say, like, maybe we should go to the other one, the one that's, like, a little farther north, because, like...
The waitress.
Well, no, just that Denny's is... There's so many problems.
It has an energy.
All the time there's a problem.
Although Denny's isn't doing well.
I think some Denny's are. I think that one's not.
Which I find funny, because I feel like it's in a good location.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, because, like, it's just, like, dead all the time.
They're like, kids eat free every day from 4 to 10. Yeah. And I'm like, y'all can't afford that. Yeah. To get the parents in, I guess. But then, like, they gave us 20% off the next order, right?
Which it says off your entire order, but then if you read the back of the card, it says beverages not included. I'm like, then that's not the entire guest check.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
That's fucking funny.
I'm like, you can't come out here and say 20% off entire guest check.
Except beverages.
And then in the small text, not even in bold, come out here and tell me beverages not included.
Denny's, are you not doing okay if you hurting for that $2.79 soda?
Hold on, we gotta scooch it here.
Scooch it back now, y'all. One scooch.
It was touching the table, so then every time we did anything, yours was.
Yeah.
Dun 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 dun
dun dun dun. Yeah.
Okay.
Fun. Yeah. Has anything happened?
So many things have happened.
Name one.
I breathed.
Okay.
And that was a lot for me.
I can understand.
So, yeah.
How do you feel after getting through that ordeal?
Okay, well, to protect my peace, I don't know that I can get into that right now.
The peace in your home?
The peace in my heart. My heart home.
Yeah. Home is where the heart is.
My Kokoro heart home.
Yes. It means heart or heartfelt. That's correct.
I listen sometimes.
Thank you. Oh, man. I did the Tough Mudder.
Like, was it tough?
Yeah, motherfucker, it was. Hey. But also, like, I actually did it, if
cool.
I may. Like, I kind of forgot. I'm like, oh, I did this really cool thing. Okay.
No. Go for it.
I'm pretty sure that, like, it kicks my ass so much that, like, it's probably why, like, I'm a little congested right now. Because, like, I was sick earlier this week. Like, on Wednesday, I was, like...
I was a robot earlier this week.
I don't know if I was sick so much as, like, I think the healing from completely overexerting myself for one day was like, hey, so we used all the water in your body and you are now dehydrated. And I said, no, I'm not. I had some water with my pill this morning.
Right.
Why can't I hydrate right now? And they said, no.
There's water in every liquid.
It was debilitating. Which, like, if you've ever been like that dehydrated, like, it fucking sucks.
Oh, I've
like,
been that dehydrated.
Yeah, it sucks. It felt like being hungover almost. Where like I'm like up here hurts, like and stuff. But I was genuinely like I really pulled like the How I Met Your Mother Barney Stinson, where he's like, I'm just gonna run a marathon. It's like, Barney, you can't do that, and then he does it. He fucking like finishes the marathon, and then he can't move his legs.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, like the human body is surprising.
Yeah.
Because like Josh and I, a month before, were like, he was like, I'm going to do it if you want to do it. And I said, fuck it, let's go. Like now we have like a training arc.
Right.
We did that for about 3 weeks. And then the week before, we just like we had shit going on. So we straight up hadn't worked out for like a week and a half before this fucking race.
Right.
And we're like, we got this. The hardest part was like, so it was a 10K with 20 obstacles throughout it. Some of them
every 0.5Ks.
No.
Oh,
much.
Oh?
The first thing they made you do was run a mile.
Oh.
Which I think, in terms of like physical exhaustion, it was that first mile that hurt me the most.
Right.
Because like Josh and I had been running the loop, the magic loop where good things happen if you run around it.
Right.
But that's only like shy of a half mile.
Right.
So like we were like, okay, we're trying to keep a good pace, whatever, and it's just like, okay, we're not going to stop because like we'll get to the first obstacle.
Yeah.
Where is it? And
where's the obstacle? Where's the obstacle?
We get to the first one and it's like there's just like a net and you have to crawl like
How is
stoop. She's great. No complaints.
Glad. It's been a while since I talked to her.
I mean, ever since she left Robert, it's been great.
Well,
I mean, and honestly, I hope he's not doing well.
Yeah.
But like, it was really easy because there was a lot of people, and like, when the way that Josh had described this to me is that like it's a very big like camaraderie thing because like everybody's in it,
right?
And so like it doesn't matter if you're like fucking Thor or like me, like everyone is equal. Like we're just trying to get through this bitch.
My boss's husband now proposed to her at the end of a Tough Mudder.
Oh wow, that's really cute actually. Oh wait, she does a Tough Mudder?
Right?
Really?
Right?
That is genuine. I'm surprised she has the energy for that.
Right?
Or maybe she
That's
doesn't.
where she saves it up.
I was gonna say she doesn't have any energy anymore.
Well, she used it all up that day.
Yeah, to capture him. I mean, if you used all the energy in your life to catch a man, that works.
Energy well spent.
You never have to expend it
Depends
again.
on the man.
Oh, that's true. I have no idea. They're getting a divorce, actually.
I've never met her husband. He sounds lovely.
Yeah. But we did like the net, and it was really easy because there was a lot of people, so people are like holding it up. And Josh was like, "It's a lot harder when like there's no
one
net."
holding it up.
And we get at this point where Robert Frost calls out to me with the road less traveled,
right?
And everybody's going to the left, and then there's some arrows in the orange color for the 10K.
Yeah.
That's split off, and nobody's going the 10K. It's like whatever, like the time slot that we were like running it.
The distance.
Yes, they're going for speed.
Right.
But like everyone's doing the 5K on Sunday, not the 10K. And so it all of a sudden went from like, yeah, we're all like a team. We did this huddle. Did this whole huddle and everything. And then we split off and it's just me and Josh. Like it's like an empty barren field. They've gone around to where we can't see. And then there's like these two women that were like with us that were talking, so it was fun to like listen to their conversation every once in a while. Right. So my whole goal when I went into it was like, I want to finish. Like I want to try to do the obstacles, but like I don't want to like sit all day on them. And like if it's something I just got to skip, I'll just skip it. But like I need to get to the end. I can't give up. That's my goal. I did accomplish that. I successfully completed 17 objectives. I tried and chose to not complete 2, and I skipped 1. And I have seen the gates of hell, and I never want to do them again. Okay. Because the 2 that I chose to skip on, right, that I chose to, like, I attempted, are both things, like, the one was, like, so I'm like 5'5", 5'6", depending on, like, the day and shoes and stuff. And like I'm also like 210 pounds. So like if there's like, it was one where like it looked like monkey bars and I was like, okay, cool, I could fuck with some monkey bars because that's kind of about like momentum. Right. You can kind of cheese it. But it was like, no, there's wooden panels on the side that you have to grip onto and then like maneuver yourself aside. And then there was like a trail hitch, and then another wood panel. I don't do well with those. Same reason why pull-ups are really hard if I'm like unassisted, because I have to jump up. Right. And like, so it's not like a small hop and then grip. It is, I have to jump and then like land with that force.
And all your weight comes,
Yeah. And so I'm like, I'm not trying to be a bitch, but also like this, like, it's just recognizing that this is hard for me. What, is that a Celsius?
Yeah.
Bro, you're going to get wired.
I came to play.
Okay.
This is the podcast.
Shit,
and I'm here.
I mean, I've
There's some
drunk a few.
downstairs.
Okay, cool.
If you're so inclined.
I am. I'm looking to get cranked. That shit. I try to.
I'm looking to get
them.
fucking jaked.
Hell yeah. We're gonna Mario Kart maybe. Who knows? I mean, we are recording this at 10:10.
Yes, but I have to make an audio after this.
Oh, okay. Maybe a small, tiny amount of hangout.
We could do a tiny little baby bit of hangout, but then
like,
I really have to make a video.
I can grab Breath of the Wild from you because I think I want to stream it.
There you go.
So, yeah. Anyway, like, yeah, I got to, like, the hitch, and then I fell, and I looked at Josh. I'm like, I tried. It's all good. And we kept moving. Because I'm like, again, like, one of those where sometimes, like, people, like, parents would be like, or, like, you have those types of friends that are like, no, come on, man, you could do it. It's like, look, it is not for a lack of want or for a lack of try. Like, I do not want to wear myself out on the second fucking thing because of a sense of, like, pride. Like, I tried it. That is all that mattered for me. I wanted to try it. Mm-hmm. We get to the electric eel.
I've heard of this.
This was, like, the 6th or 7th one. So fucking early. It was the most hellish experience of my life. I full on, like, almost had a breakdown. Josh did not want to do it. And I was like, okay. And so the way that it sets up is that we're in the middle of this empty field outside Phoenix Speedway, which, side note, the Speedway, really cool, actually. Really cool, like, stadium arena thing. Like, I'd never been there before, so that was kind of cool. It's like a giant trough of water that, like, ideally you'd, like, army crawl or hands and knees crawl.
Right.
And there's just strands of taser wire, which apparently, if you hit them, they do take a few seconds to recharge. So, like, you could run through them.
Right.
Now, the thing is, it is now the windiest part of the day. So trying to do it is tough. And, like, I finally, like, I get in the water first. And I'm like, all right, Josh, like, we're going to fucking do this. Like, I still had my earrings in because I didn't think about it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I got to, like, give them to somebody because, like, I don't want to die. Like, or whatever. I don't know. Because I'm like, Josh, what does it feel like? Because he did it the last time. And you can see the, like, shell shock in his eyes of, like, oh, it was painful. He goes, it feels like someone punches you in the chest. And I'm just like, that can't be true. He's just trying to scare me.
Right.
No, he was trying to be very direct in a warning.
Yeah.
As I finally get on, like, my, like, hands and knees and I'm, like, crawling. And then, like, I feel Josh, like, punch me in my, like, calf. Mm-hmm. And I look back with just fire and fear in my eyes. And I'm like, did you just fucking hit me? And he goes, no. He goes, I'm like, is that the taser wire? He goes, yup. And I'm like, it really does feel like someone just fucking comes up and punches you. And there was, like, one woman who went and she must have got hit like 30 times. And she just kept going, not saying a word. Meanwhile, I get less than halfway. They mentioned that they've only seen one person. A girl got through the entire way and she stood up. Because, like, the thing is that even no matter how far you get in, like, the only way out, like, the safest way to get out is through.
Right.
Because you would think, like, I was really close to the edge. I was, like, in the second lane. Mm-hmm. But, like, I would have to go through a very narrow way.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get out. So I end up, like, standing up. And I'm, like, freaking like, I've been hit, like, 6 or 7 times. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not fun. I'm screaming like a little girl because, like, I don't expect it. Mm-hmm. Like, I probably have peed myself a little bit. And then a woman. So, like, Josh, like, got out.
Yeah.
And, like, hated it. And then, like, at the very end, there was, like, I just got to get past these. And I'm like, I just got to wait for my window and fucking go for it. Mm-hmm. And, like, dive through. And I did. And it worked. But when I at about the halfway point where I stood up and I'm just standing there and, like, every once in a while hit my leg and it just fucking, I'm, like, almost crying. I'm like, I just want to go home. Like, right. I straight up am, like, crybaby. Like, I want to go home. Yeah. And you can make fun of me if you'd like. I don't recommend you go do it because you will do the same. It is not. Like, when you realize that your only way out is through, in the truest sense of the word, that is when fear truly takes a part of your soul. Yeah. This woman decided she wasn't going to do this one and was waiting for her friends to finish.
Work.
So then she starts laughing at me.
Oh, that's unkind.
And she has the audacity to tell Josh, like, and me, like, oh, like, I'm not laughing at you. It's just funny. And, like, even Josh and I are like, no, you bitch, you are like, it is totally fine to laugh at me because, like, I understand. Right. But, like, you didn't attempt this.
Right.
So, like, you know what? Yeah, she was being a bit of a bitch. Yeah. And I'm going to say it. And I like to reserve that word. But, like, that is some bitchy behavior of just, like, you didn't do it, and then you're going to make fun of me and then tell me that you're not laughing at me.
Right.
Like, no, it is funny. Like, even in the moment, I can recognize the type 2 fun.
Right.
And I would love to enjoy it with you the moment I'm free of this hell, of this, like, 13 feet of fucking pain. 20 feet, whatever it was. It was hell. Yeah. So then we did that, and it was fine, and everything else was relatively good. Like, I had to get assistance on some stuff, like getting up, which is always tough on Josh because, like, it's small.
Right.
A fun part was there was a part where, like, you had to, like, walk for a good amount of distance. I don't know, maybe like a quarter mile. Okay. At most. I don't know. Where you have to find a partner and piggyback. So I took Josh the first time. Yeah. Because, like, I'm strong. Mm-hmm. Much stronger than I realized. But, and I got him, and I like, it was very much one of those where, like, you see the finish line and your body's like, well, now that I know how much is left, like, I can start to give out. And it's like, no, don't do it. Just keep going. Barely made it. Then Josh had to get me, and he was a champion, and I was very appreciative. And then we did the ice bath. We had to dive under the ice bath, and I decided Josh was able to, like, just get his head under without having to go under. Mm-hmm. I decided I'll just dive under and deal with it real quick. Mm-hmm. Bonk on a block of ice, and, like, that was fun. Yeah. Yeah. Then at the very end, there was the taser wire that you run through, and I said, no. That was after they make you run up the stairs of the stadium and down the stairs again, which is the worst. Why they did that is just cruel. Yeah. Because you're tired.
Well, it's a tough mutter.
It is a tough mutter. It is a tough mutter. And then there was the half pipe where I got all the way to the top and then grabbed the hand.
Kickflip at the top.
I tried to. Actually, I was really impressed. Josh made it up, the one without the rope. Like, he was able to get himself up and like get help. I tried to get all the way up. It was to help and use the rope. Got the guy's hand, but, like, at this point, like, your clothes are so wet, like, you could never dry your hands. Yeah. And I just slipped. I slipped and got rope burn coming down, and then it rode my shirt up, and I got a little bit of road burn. Yeah. Like, I have... Not trying to show titty. I don't know where it is, but somewhere on my body, I have, like, welts from the taser wire, too. Mm-hmm. But I got that rope burn, and I just went, I'm not going to do that again. Not because, like, I'm scared or anything, but just, like, like, that fucking hurt, and I don't want to do that again, and, like, that's real tough. Yeah. And then we climbed over the big thing. I had a fear of heights on the way up, and then you just are like, well, the only way down is down. It's easier. And then we were done. Hell yeah. So it was a good time. And then Josh got his free beer, and it sucked. So we got In-N-Out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's beer. Yeah. Well, yeah, but it wasn't even like they didn't do like Coors or anything like that, which was like, oh, they're doing like an IPA or something, but like it was bad. And they were like, oh yeah, there's hard seltzer too. And like I saw at the little bar that there was like Mike's Hard Lemonades, and I'm like, oh wait,
there you go.
I'm like, that's a drink for me, right? Because I'm real particular with like seltzers and whatnot. And they're like, yeah, I don't know about all that. The free ticket one's over there. And they're like, all we have is beer. And I'm just like, you guys suck, but
like at least like throw a gal a White Claw.
Exactly.
Like, come on. Like, White Claw has become, like, the de facto, like...
No laws.
Non-beer.
Yeah.
But, like, beer level thing of, like, if someone would hand you a beer, someone would hand you a White Claw. You know? Like, yeah. It's on the same level. So they should have had that available.
A lighter alcoholic beverage for, like, made for consumption, right, as opposed to get, like, wasted off.
A sociable single-serve beverage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is the one.
Oh, that's impressive, GG.
Yeah, thanks, man.
G fucking G.
The hustle got me through it, baby.
You know what they say. Do you? Because I don't.
No.
Oh, okay. Maybe we should ask them.
What do they say?
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the Hell Yeah Podcast. We are your hosts.
Me.
And me. And this is the show. Ooh. We did do that before 20 minutes.
Yes.
But that was also like really funny because I realized, no, we didn't
do that. Yeah. Hi, Stinkies.
Hello, Stinky. You can, tell them.
Hey, Stinky.
The live stream was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. It was a good time.
Yeah.
It was a good time, gal.
Mm-hmm. So, what's been new with you? I have more things to talk about, but I need to take a break. Because you're going to get mad. No worries. I gotta talk about the hustle.
A little mad for later.
Oh yeah.
A little mad for the table.
A little eye roll for later. Mm-hmm. Eye rolls, please.
What's been happening lately?
Something funny.
Something funny,
or just something something lost.
Nothing funny has ever happened to me before. I tried that new Girl Scout cookie, and it was fine.
Which one?
The one they're like, it's like a brownie. I'm like, that is not correct.
It's like a cookie that's trying to taste like a brownie?
Yeah. Well, it's a cookie. So it's like a hard cookie, which...
Who wants a hard brownie?
I'm unhappy already.
Or just a hard cookie?
I don't like a hard cookie.
It's got to be a very particular taste.
To each their own.
Like a gingerbread cookie that's hard?
I don't care for
like
that.
Like windmills? Oh, I fucked my ass up on some windmills.
I'm just not a fan of a hard cookie generally. But like... It's like a hard cookie, not unlike the inside of a Thin Mint. Like it's not like a crack, but like it's a harder cookie.
It's got some structural intensity.
Yeah, and then it has like a sort of like chocolate-esque, slightly softer like coating, and then a caramel flavored cream on top with a little like salt on it, I think. And they're like, it's like a caramel brownie, and I'm like, it's brownie adjacent. It tastes kind of like a souped up version of that brownie brittle stuff. Have you ever had that? Where it's like they turn a brownie into like a cracker, basically.
No, that's really cool though. I wouldn't like it, but
it's fine. Yeah, the cookie's fine.
Like I'd rather just eat a brownie.
Fine. I'd much rather eat a brownie. And if we're in a Girl Scout cookie situation, I'd much rather have a tag along because
tag along and Thin Mints. They're classic.
I'm a man of taste.
Correct.
So tried that and I was like, but I didn't have to buy them.
Oh, that's
Brandon and Taylor had bought them, so I got to just try one and be like, it's fine. So then I ate 5 more.
Well, because at that point,
it was fine.
Yeah.
So,
the problem is with tag-alongs, you want to eat 5 more, you've eaten half your box.
I ate 1 tag-along. Like they were like, we have tag-alongs, and I was like, bring me 1. Do not bring the box out because it will not last.
Quite literally.
I said, please just bring me 1.
I have to do the same. Like I will go get 1 tag along and I have to like put the box back and like do that because if I bring it with me to my desk, I'm like, I'm gonna eat like 3 or 4 of these.
When I was a child,
a trifle wild.
I was a trifle wild. My spirit would just run away with me. Obsessed with tag-alongs. I thought you were posing.
No. I'm just stretching your.
Oh yeah, I saw it on the. I forgot. I lost the stream back and I saw that this fell and I didn't notice it.
Oh, that's what the thing that fell.
Hold on.
Sheesh.
Hey, Stinkies.
Hey, Stinky.
It's Jigglypuff. It's Brittany, bitch. There's like Sharpie on it.
Oh.
How rude.
I have
1999.
I have a Pokemon fan game that would, like next time that like you want to hang out and do a stream that like we should play on stream.
Is it Kaizu Emerald?
No. That one's hard though. No, I was watching Point Crow play it.
Okay.
But it's like a Pokemon fusion game where like you can fuse any 2 Pokemon together.
I can make you Farto.
Mm-hmm.
Me, like, Mr. Cool,
basically,
you Farto.
Yeah, and like it changes their ability, like it changes their typings, and like there's like 176,000 different Pokemon because of all the combos.
Oh, okay.
But one thing that I think you'll like is that you can combine 2 of the same Pokemon together.
Okay.
And when you combine 2 Rattatas together, no, you make a Rattata.
Okay.
Who's like a Rat King.
Yes!
Where he's got a little Rattata around him and he has a crown, and then he can evolve into Raticate, King Raticate, and it is a fucking nightmare.
Hell yeah.
And like, I want to play this game not because I want to fuse a bunch of different Pokemon and see all the crazy combinations, but I'm like, I want to fuse the same ones and see, because they sprited them all out and everything.
Hell yeah.
So I don't know what like ROM hack it is apparently, but I'm excited to find it.
How tall do you think Jigglypuff is?
2 feet 4 inches.
She's 1'8".
Damn.
She weighs 12 pounds.
Yeah, because she's like a
12 pound 0 ounce little.
Yeah, she's all there. That's why she can fly in Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Or I guess float, really.
Float, yeah. What was was saying? Tagalongs. So when I was a child, Trifle Wild.
Trefoil Wow.
Indeed. I loved tagalongs and had even less impulse control than I have now, which is quite terrifying, actually. And XD Rar girl, friend of the channel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking
friend
about.
of the channel. But she was a Girl Scout. And so she would always like sell Girl Scout cookies, and she knew how much I liked tagalongs. So I would always be like, "Can I buy like a box of tagalongs?" So like,
you wanted a pallet, like essentially.
Yeah. I don't remember how many was in
like
that.
If 12 come in a box, I want 12.
Well, yeah, it was like, I can't remember how many it was. It was a lot, and so I was like, I want like a whole like thing of that. And she was like, okay, fine. And so then like, she did that and she brought it to me, and then but like I didn't tell my parents because I was like, they're gonna yell at me for buying that many cookies.
Like let's just say it was 12, like $60 worth of cookies is
right.
insane.
Like, and it was my money to spend, but they would still be like, you can't buy that many cookies, and I'd be like, well, I already did. So cool. But I was like, I don't want to have that conversation. At this point in my life, I had this weird like kind of shitty hand-me-down drum set from my cousin, and so I was like, I have to hide the cookies.
Yeah.
So I like smuggled them home in my backpack, of course. A studious gentleman.
Yeah.
I get all the way home and I'm like, okay.
Is your backpack stuffed with these cookies?
Absolutely. Like I probably like had to like throw away like a binder that mattered for my education in order to get these cookies home.
That's where the original script of Beams was.
It was in there. So I like get all these cookies home and I'm like, I have to hide the cookies. Where does one hide cookies?
You know, not just like in a drawer, in a closet.
No, someone could find them.
Or just in a box.
Someone could look, though. You never there could be villains in the home.
Mom.
Yes.
Prime suspect number 1.
There is evil here.
Every time that I have gotten in trouble, Mom has always been at the root of it.
Listen, she's always been present. I'm just saying, draw a correlation where you can find it.
Correlation may mean causation.
And sometimes it does. So I decided to hide them in my drum set. So I had the little like key to like pop the top off of like the floor tom.
Okay.
It's the tall one. So I was like,
the hi-hat?
Plenty of room for cookies. Well, that's a symbol.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're talking about like
the floor tom, the taller one.
Yeah.
There's the
big
snare, the short one.
Oh, I didn't know it was called a tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, but it's the bass drum. Yeah.
Well, no, that's the
one with the kick.
Yeah, not that one.
Okay.
The stand-up one.
Got it. One of the two.
Yeah. There's like
the yellow and red on the Guitar Hero.
I think the red, yeah.
Yeah.
So I like popped the top
because green is snare
and hid the cookies inside the drum and then would like seal it back up. And so that actually ended up being a great portion control situation because it was very difficult to undo the top of a drum and get the cookies out
without anyone knowing.
Right. So it would be like, okay, like dig it out, grab a couple cookies, seal it back up.
That's it. You got home. Brittany is not home for some reason. Your parents are still working, and you can get a cookie. You might be able to get 2 if you're lucky.
It's cookie time. It's cookie time on these hoes.
How long did you eat those cookies for?
Not as long as they should have lasted.
Like 2 weeks?
Probably something like that. Yeah.
And that's being generous.
Because it'd be like, oh, like I'll take a shower. Because then, like, you know, then it's like, well, I gotta get dressed, so I gotta lock the door.
Coming up with reasons to no one come in your room, even though like no one has been coming in.
No one has ever gone in the room. No one knows I have a room in this home. I've never been seen.
Surprisingly, they've never photographed me even.
I've never even been perceived.
Are you a ghost?
I don't even show up in mirrors.
Have your parents ever actually spoken directly to you?
I've never met my parents. I was made in tube.
Is it possible that your parents have not been talking to you but lamenting their loss?
It could be. It could be such a thing. And they go, for lack of cookies. But yeah, so you know, I had some delicious tagalongs. So yeah, anyway, all of that to say, that is why when Brandon and Taylor were like, would you like tagalongs? I was like, I will have one. And that's that on that.
It was good.
Because they left the caramel cookies up there with me. And I ate 5 of them. Yeah. And they weren't even good. Well, they weren't bad. They were fine. Yeah. They weren't great.
Cookies don't have to be good. They have to be fine.
I don't like Broadway. I don't dislike Broadway.
Correct.
I don't like the cookies. I don't dislike the cookies. The cookies are cookies.
I'm not going to go out of my way to say that I like these cookies, but I'm also not going to go out of my way to say that I don't like these cookies.
I was hungry.
Yes, they were there.
And I had expressed, hey, I'm hungry. Anybody want to, like, anybody else hungry? Thoughts? Putting out feelers, you know? Like, how we all feeling about food?
No,
and it was like, well, we got cookies. And I was like, well,
I'm going to eat them.
If you're telling me to step up to bat, I'm going to swing.
Mm-hmm. And you can't be mad when I knock it out of the park.
That part.
You knew what happened when you stepped up to the plate, honey.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Grand slam, baby.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I call my hole.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's the grand sandwich.
Yeah. That's what she does to my pussy. Makes it the grand sandwich.
That part.
Yeah.
With the maple spread.
Oh, honey. When you hook up with a Canadian.
I'll show you maple spread. Honey.
I mean, we got the list. We start calling the Canadians.
You're right. We got Canadians on lock.
Mm-hmm. Both genders too. All genders. Sal's Faye.
We got a little bit of everything.
We
got a maple spread.
Oh man, we just are a couple of Canucks.
Quebec with the good hair. Remember when I made that joke? They liked that. The Canadians liked that one. Mm-hmm. They thought that was funny when I said that.
Quebec it was a good one. Quebec. That does sound like a derogatory, like to like make fun of somebody for being Canadian. Like, okay, Quebec. Voilà, c'est fort. I don't know.
Je m'appelle.
All right, so I can't stop thinking about the hustle, and it's a problem.
I don't know what.
Okay. I'm not going to go into a whole fucking tirade about it because there's not much, but I do want to express a small amount of excitement. The newest part of JoJo has finally started in manga. One chapter has come out. Yeah, you can press it. I understand. I told you would roll your eyes.
I didn't roll my eyes. I just made an error sound.
Because I actually have something interesting to talk about with this. Because it's not just stupid, weird shit with JoJo, which is what it is a lot of the time.
Right.
But rather
you did send that picture of the prehensile muscle holding the watch. So
correct. That is the hustle.
I don't know if we can say that it's not stupid stuff.
It's not the applications.
Okay, work.
So we finally get the new, like, this is very exciting because like JoJolion has, like, I believe JoJolion finished, or I had just started watching JoJo, like the very beginning of it, as the most recent part 8 has finished with the Rokakaka fruit, with Soft and Wet, and in the alternate universe, and that took 10 years to finish publication. Yeah.
Soft and Wet just made me think of when I was playing Don't Starve Together. Taylor played for a little bit, and she just kept saying, "What's wet goo?" She's like, "I found wet goo. What do I do with the wet goo?" And I'm like, "I don't know what wet goo is." She's like, "What do I do with the wet goo?"
Wet goo?
And then like a little time passes, she goes, "I ate the wet goo."
Oh.
And I was like, "What did it do?" She goes, "I don't know." And then she just keeps bringing wet goo back to the camp.
Weird.
And putting it in the fridge. I'm like, "I'm cooking. Stop putting wet goo in the fridge." She's like, "Well, use it." I'm like, we don't know what it is. I'm not going to cook with the goo.
Like, Taylor, at any point, you could alt-tab and go look on the wiki and tell me what this means.
Anyway, I still don't know what wet goo does. You can't cook with it.
I'm going to look.
I'll tell you that.
I want to know. Don't Starve wet goo?
Yes. I tried to. Don't Starve Together wet goo. I tried to use it in the crock pot as like a filler ingredient. You can't cook with it. It said, no. It said, we're not accepting that application at this time.
Oh.
And I said, okay, work.
Weird. Wet goop.
Oh, goop. Okay.
Yeah. Is a food item,
but you can't cook with it.
Is a food item that is the result of any invalid recipe cooked in the crock pot.
Then how was she finding it on the ground?
I don't know.
She was killing like raccoons or something, I think, and she's like, "I keep finding goo." I'm like, "Stop touching the goo."
Oh, okay. So, is a food item that is the result of any invalid recipe cooked in the crock pot, left from a hatchling tall bird egg that has remained cold for too long, or hacked up by neutral cat coons.
That.
It takes 10 seconds to cook.
She's picking up puke? She was bringing puke back to the base and putting it in my refrigerator.
It takes 10 seconds to cook and has no effects on most characters, although it will affect Warley because of his refined palate. Oh. I don't know who Warley is.
I think that's the gourmand character.
Oh. Wet goop will attract pigs who are hungry.
Oh.
Because of this, one may use wet goop to bait pigs into tooth trap meat farms.
Oh, because the hogs want the slop.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, giving the item to a pig will neither make it friendly nor cause it to produce manure. Wet goop can also be used as bait in traps, though it will not attract most animals when used this way. Wet goop can be a source of rot for fertilizing, though there are other edibles that take less time to spoil or fewer resources to obtain. Yeah. And catcoons have the ability to cough up wet goop as a gift.
Oh, so they were gifting her.
Yes. You do also need wet goop and Don't Starve together to craft a terra firma tamper.
Oh. Okay.
Which is, it looks like that. I don't know if that makes any sense to you.
That makes sense. This game, there's too much in this game. This game is too much.
I
was so proud of myself for learning how to make a fridge, honestly.
Bet?
That was
Is it fun?
Yeah.
Can we play 4 people?
Yeah. You can play with like 8 people.
Okay. Is used to craft certain turfs is a structure. You get it. Its crafting blueprint is unlocked from a distilled knowledge acquired from a yellow fountain of knowledge after completing the Archive Orchestrina puzzle.
Yeah, none of that means anything to me. There's so much game in this game.
Yeah, dude, sometimes when games put game in the game, it's like, bruh.
A video guy recommended me that was like, I rate all the mobs in Minecraft. I was like, oh, so this will take like 2 minutes. And they're like, there are 79 mobs. And then like
a 2-hour video.
And they just kept talking. And I'm like, I don't know any of these animals. I'm like, I remember when they added like bees. And everyone was like, oh my God. Now they're like, there's dolphins. You can feed them fish. And they'll take you to like an underwater fortress. I'm like, an underwater what?
What happened to caves?
There's nothing in the water.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, the drowned are down there. I'm like, what? No,
Stop.
Nothing's in the water.
They're making Minecraft. There's too much Minecraft in Minecraft.
There's too much Minecraft in Minecraft. Well, make Minecraft minecarts again. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
What happened to the Minecraft? Mm-hmm. Anyway, soft and wet.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so that's just like context. And so this is like a sequel that takes place because at the end of it, they go back to the 40s, kind of tying the Steel Ball Run part, blah, 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 descendant of Joseph, after they get in a fight with the rock human guardrail that eats people. All of that to say, the new one is great. It was the longest chapter. It was like 60 some odd pages. Joestar is the new one. And he is straight up a 15-year-old criminal that acts like a 15-year-old criminal.
Is he the child of a Joestar and Dio? Jodio?
Possible.
It's me.
People, there's a lot of us feel like it is the alternate universe Giorno, which is the mafia one. Where Giorno was like, I'm going to join the mafia because I want them to stop being like, I want to stop drugs. Drugs are bad. And so I'm going to join the mafia and dismantle it from within, like take it over.
Okay.
This is like, drugs are awesome. And I'm going to be a part of crime because like...
Right, because I want drugs.
Like, Jodio is the narrator for like the first part. And like, there's a couple panels that are really, really good where like they're so silly where he's like, yeah, like talking about this nerd guy. He's like, that guy fucking sucks. People don't even respect his mom. But me, I'm like this. And it's like him with like posing up with some dudes that look all mean. Like exactly what a 15-year-old would do.
Right.
And then like one with like ladies behind him and he's got champagne. He's 15.
Right.
Like, it's very cute that like he's a dumbass, but it takes place in Florida, and not Florida, Hawaii. I'm sorry, it's in Hawaii, and his brother, Dragona, dragon motif. I would like to make the prediction that Dragona is trans, and that the reason why we are only referred to him as like his brother and using he pronouns is because the only character that refers to Dragona is Jodio. Mm-hmm. So, and like we've only gotten one chapter because like Dragona is hands down like the hottest character that Araki has made. Like before we like read it and just like the preview material, like she just looks really fucking cool and like looks really pretty and she's great. And it's like, oh, she's in like a bikini and everything, and then like gets assaulted by a cop and like it goes to grab a feel and like there's junk down there. And he's like, oh, one of those, and he gets all excited. It's nasty. But they all do crime and shit, and they like smuggle drugs and stuff, and it's a fun time. He's got November Rain as they fight these cops as his stand ability, which is not a humanoid stand.
Okay.
It looks like a top, kind of like a dude, like a upper torso with like a pointed part like here, and then like long tendril legs like a spider almost. And like all that we've seen of it is that like if it's over you, he puts it over this dude after touching the car, which we think is important. He touches the car, and then like rain comes down from the stand, and it like is like heavy rain. and like flattening the cop into the ground. And then Jodio like jumps up and just starts like smashing it, like, don't you dare fucking touch my brother, you piece of shit. Like, very good fun times. Dragona, on the other hand, has a colony stand, which is like, because like stands are really cool. They just, in the early parts, they're boring because it's like, it's fire. Like, that's a boring. It's like,
right.
And towards the end of like Stone, like started to go into where the like people that we see throughout tend to have stands that are more like, they're just like weird, but like that's so much more fun because it's like these are so niche, like weird activation stuff. So like from what we understand, like he can make rain happen and it like is whatever. So it's like, is it because he touched the car he can modify the rain to be as heavy as a car and that's what flattens someone, or what? Dragona like taps the cop's face and the eyes of the cop just start to like move down the side of his face and he like misses a gunshot. You're like, what the fuck? Turns out they've got a little colony stand, which are these little robot men on little tiny tread, like a triangle tread. Okay. And they grab things and they move it. Because she's like, I'm going to use she because I genuinely think that she would go by she, because it's like he gets filler implants and whatnot, but even though he's never seen him get injections, which I'm like, I think it's because of his stand that he gave himself breasts, is like what I would assume. And like they have to like swap the license plates and then they torch the cop car to leave, which is all just crazy because like the footage, the body cam footage. Also in this chapter, they reference Dua Lipa and COVID.
Dua Peep.
Yeah. It was just so surreal to go like, was I swerving? It's like, well, you were rocking out to Dua Lipa.
Well.
And I'm just like, Rocky, you need to stop. This is too on the nose.
Yeah, but if you're listening to that album, how could you not be swerving?
Exactly.
We've all heard
honey. Come on. Perfect time. Yeah. Don't copyright us. All I have to say, it's Smooth Operators.
Right.
A song from the 80s. And like they go to change the license plate and they just grab a letter on the license plate and pull it off. So it's like, okay, they can move, like regardless of where something is affixed, they can move it. Yeah. And like move it fully. So it's like, I'm like, oh, how did they get injections? Like just move fat from around your body. Right. You know, and then shape it the way you want. Like that's really cool. That's interesting. We meet this one guy, this kid, who's like a senior at the school, who like has this weird, he looks like Filthy Frank's pink guy. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe. He's in like a pink bodysuit basically. Okay. But like this guy looks like he's like a weird, he just looks really weird, and he has like a hot dog and we don't know his name or what he does or anything like that. He's this guy who like goes up to Jodio on the bus and he's like, hey man, you got the stuff? Like, I'm looking to buy the stuff. And he starts like flashing his money around. So Jodio beats the shit out of him on the bus. And then afterwards is like, thanks for holding on to my money for me, and takes his money and he goes, go see that. Paco Labarantes, the man of the hour, shows up on an electric scooter. He's ripped. He's got like a bandolier thing going on. He's wearing a little hat. He's got like makeup or something on. He's got like arrows on his body. He shows up on an electric scooter and he just goes check the pipe, and there's drugs in the pipe, and it's like, okay, cool, blah 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 blah. Principal's also like a crime lord or whatever, and then talks like a principal, and like when they're all like getting together to see information about the heist she wants them to do, which is, it's all about like a boy who gets rich in the subtropical islands. It's like the small summary of the part, and they're gonna steal a diamond, blah blah blah, doesn't matter. This fucking Paco Labarantes guy, I cannot stop thinking about him in the applications, and it's the first time that like a stand ability has like, I'm like, how could you use it? It's so fucking cool. It's so rad. It's you could do anything. And it's like, because he's a pickpocket, and so it's like you probably didn't even notice he's already done it, but he's been stealing wallets and stuff without moving his hands because his muscles can just prehensile like move, and hence why he's holding the watch in his shoulder or whatever. And like it's at the very end that like, okay, they're gonna steal this diamond, and it doesn't matter how many people they have, that wouldn't have been enough because there's a Japanese tourist. So everyone's like, who is it from Jojoleon? Who's the crossover character? We can't wait. And like they show all the names where it's like November Rain, Smooth Operator, The Hustle. And the fact that it's like, what's your stand name? The Hustle is just so like silly to me. And it's like, do the hustle. Because like these are all like they're crafty. Like these stands are so weird. Like I wonder like where's the power spikes? Like how creative can you do some of this shit?
Yeah.
And like all I can think about with Paco is that like obviously at a range you're gonna have an advantage on Paco, and like all we've seen at this point is that he can steal wallets, like and stuff. Like he's a klepto, and Jodio even says as the narrator, we will, the next Paco's going to do this again. So the next time it comes up, I'll go more in depth into his ability. But like, this is what you need to know for now. And I'm like, okay. But like with prehensile muscles, it's like obviously at a distance you could take him out easy. Because also he was really fat until about 2 years ago when he suddenly got shredded. Which I'm like, standability, that would make sense. But like I just keep thinking about like how cool his fights could be if he gets within like melee range of you, because it's like at that point, if you have prehensile muscles, like full muscle control, you could do some crazy shit. Like you could fight 3 dudes at once where you're surrounded fighting. Dude tries to come up from behind you. You literally grab him with your back muscles and flip him like his head down in front of you to keep pummeling the shit out of him. I'm like that to me is like what is so fucking cool about it, of just like the applications are fucking crazy, let alone like we don't know what the actual like stand comes out as. Yeah. But it's fun to see another little colony stand, because we haven't had one of those in a hot minute, where like there's many, or like we had 6 bullets, or Sex Pistols is the name, where it's Mista's bullets. So he just uses a regular gun, but they reload his bullets and help him like kick bullets and shit. He's a beloved character. All 6 of the bullets, numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7, because 4 is unlucky. Well, as you know. Anyway, it's all fucking exciting. And to tie it back to the other thing, we had this, my favorite thing that we did at Tough Mudder was it was like a mud pit, and there was a bunch of like black pipes around it. And basically you had to get on your back and crawl, like reverse, like upside down army crawl under all of them. Well, Josh and I, those $13 Eddie Bauer shirts, fucking clutch. We were like relatively warm the entire time. They did drag a little bit because like heavier material, wet, but like when we had to crawl and stuff, like you're not getting all those rocks on your arms because it was thick enough. And I'm like, Josh, how much did you spend at Costco? $13 a shirt, like straight up. I'm like, that shirt could have been $40, like for the like utility of it. And I'm like, if we do this again next year, like we should do these shirts again. They're fucking great. Like I'm like, I get down there and I've been like, I could do everything, but I never really felt like I excelled at any one, like, obstacle, like where I felt like I shined for my own self. It was this one where I did, because I guess like due to the nature of the shirt or whatever, like I could shimmy no problem. And I was like speedy. Like there was another guy who struggled, and I'm also wondering, like, I wonder if like height has an issue, if you're like a bigger person, like it's just tougher. But I'm like, I'm chunky too. But like I just am like sliding, and I'm like getting so excited that I'm like, because like as we were coming down the hill, I'm like, Josh, I can't stop thinking about the hustle. And he's just like, yeah, like, because like we've been going for like 2 hours at this point, like we're just tired, and I'm just like, it's the only thing getting me through, man. It's just I gotta do the hustle. And I'm like do singing to myself as I'm like passing people, and I'm like, oh hell yeah. And then they had to help pull me out, and I felt like Andy Dufresne at the end of Shawshank. And I was like, yeah, I got really excited. He goes, yeah, I can hear you singing. And I'm just like, I don't care. They could have moved. And it was good. Yeah. Anyway, very excited about the part. It is very cool. It is very exciting to like, oh, I'm in it. I'm caught up because I did read all of Jajolion, and it's like, now I get to like actually get to theory craft. I could look somebody up on the wiki and not get spoiled what happens at chapter 108 because I'm only on chapter 3 because I just wanted to know this one thing. So, with any kind of media, it's fun to be caught up. And you can kind of participate in that fun stuff. So I'm excited to see the applications and what they want to do. And I'm done with that now. You made your jacket, and it's really cool, and you should tell the people about it.
Thanks. Hey, guys. I think I talked about it really briefly on an episode or whatever, but like I got like recommended some like alien lore videos.
Have you worn that jacket before?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, like alien lore videos found their way into my YouTube feed.
That's okay. I understand now what you were saying.
And
you haven't brought up the jacket.
So I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so I was like watching them and everything, and I was like, oh, this makes me want to like go back and not play. I mean, it did kind of make me want to play Isolation, but I didn't. Made me want to go like watch the original one again. So I went back and I watched Alien, and I was like, those are some pretty sick jackets that they got. And I'm like, that's a really cool vibe. I just love like the visuals of the first Alien, because it's that like retro futurism, 80s imagines the future, where it's like bad.
Yeah. Kind of like Blade Runner a little bit.
Very,
like old
very
school Blade Runner.
Yeah. Where it's like, I just love the idea of like imagining like a far-flung future in space, and you take it just like one baby step past the technology we have now. It's like, you know, imagining literally it's like we're in space, but like there's nothing fantastical about it at all. Like I love Star Trek, I love super far future like transporters, you know, like.
But there's also that like level of disbelief, because it's like, yeah, of course a holodeck can do whatever you want.
Right. I love the idea where it's like like Alien, the Alien version of it, where it's like it's basically still 1981, but we happen to also be in space, and it's like everything.
It's exactly what you thought you thought 2000 would be in 1980.
Right. Like they didn't imagine the computers being any better than they are in 1980. So like it's still like green screens.
MS-DOS. Yeah.
Right. You're keying things in like with huge like click clack clack, and it's just like everything is like, I don't know. It's I like it. The aesthetic is cool. And so then I was like, oh, those are cool jackets. And so I was like, I kind of want one of those jackets. So then I was like tippy tappy on the interwebs, and I was like, what would it take to get one of these jackets? And they're coming up like on Etsy and stuff for like $300. And I'm like, I'm not going to pay that sort of money
for something you could make
for
yourself.
A novelty jacket. So then I was like, I'll just make it myself.
If it was a bungee jacket.
A bungee jacket.
Like if it was like a bungee reward jacket.
Oh, well, that's different. You can't make that yourself.
No. Well,
certainly couldn't, you know, just buy a basic like blue jacket and then, you know, vinyl print on like the you know, the symbol or something. You couldn't do such a thing.
Shit, you could make your own bungee merch. You have.
Absolutely.
That's so fucking, dude.
I've made all kind of my own merch. I made braided like I used my like embroidery machine thing to make him like new North Face patches using North Face's logo, because like Mac had like ripped his like jacket to shreds. So like I made him like official looking like
patch
North Face patches for his North Face jacket.
That are not real.
That are not real.
100% like counterfeit.
Yeah, I just ripped the logo off of Google and then pumped it into my embroidery machine, and ta-da, you have a North Face patch.
I mean, what's the difference at that point?
Right. Well, they don't sell North Face patches, but his jacket had a hole and he needed a patch, and he wanted to say North Face on it because it's a North Face jacket. So I was like,
You should have put a Chevrolet patch on there.
There you go. But yeah, so I was like, well, fuck it, I'll just make my own. So then I found like this jacket on Amazon for like $35 or something. And then like other people make the patches. Like I could have like made them myself, but I was like, it's cheaper and easier to just buy the patches pre-made. So then I bought.
You'd rather have to make a patch for something that you don't know how, like you can't get.
Right. I was like, I'm just gonna buy the patches. So I bought the patches and I sewed them on, and I made myself a little nice Tuomo jacket.
It's really cool. Like it's very unique.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's cool. It's very cool. It's very cool.
Yeah. I had something else, but I can't remember what it was. The new season of Star Trek Picard came out, and I hate watching shows episodically. I hate it. I hate it.
It's not good? Is it a new season or is it like a new show?
It's a new season, but it might as well be a new show. Because, like, without going too far into the weeds, like, they came out with, like, so, like, Star Trek Picard is obviously an established character. Star Trek Picard Season 1, they were like, it's going to be about Picard, but it's a whole new set of characters around him. Like, Picard was the captain of the Next Generation, but rather than it being that whole crew again, it was just Picard now with a new group of people much later in his life. He's not part of Starfleet
later in
anymore.
his life. Okay.
So it's like he's
I was
not.
like, is it a younger Picard?
No, it was older.
So they had Patrick Stewart again?
Yes. And so now he's like, a retired.
living.
Yeah. Now he's like a retired admiral. He's not on a ship anymore, and so on and so forth.
So it's just a space office drama.
Things ensue, and I really did not like the first season. It wasn't very good. And then they made the second season, and it was that same cast of characters from the first season for the most part. And I really, like,
Tell me.
I don't want to
I'm
harp
not
on
gonna watch
it,
this
but
show.
it was like, I think it was one of the worst seasons of Star Trek ever made. I think it was a horrible season of any show ever made.
Really?
It was
season 1?
Stupid. No, season 2.
Oh, okay.
Season 1 was bad.
Is season 2 already over, or it's
over?
Okay.
Yeah. Season 1 was.
Oh, you watched it because you're not going to watch it episodically. So now that it's finished, you're like, I can just watch the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Season 1 was. I watched season 1 episodically and was like, this is not great, but it's fine. I didn't even try to watch it. Like, they told the premise of season 2 beforehand, and I was like, I don't want to watch that. So then I watched it once it was completely done. I was like, oh, this is horrible. This is really, really bad. Really, really bad. And so then for season 3, they were like, season 3 is going to be the last season of Star Trek Picard. They were like, this is going to be it. They were like, also, we got rid of the entire old cast, and it's actually a story about the cast from The Next Generation. The 7-season long show that Picard was the captain of.
That we already had a whole show up.
Right. But that was what we all kind of wanted from Star Trek Picard. When they were like, Picard's coming back, we were like, oh, cool. It'll be like the crew that we're used to, but now years later, we get to see how they've grown and changed and developed.
Or like you almost could have done like, would have been cool. Like my first thought was like, oh, it's like a prequel of like a young Picard.
Right. That would have been an interesting take. I think they were
because then you're still using all the characters, but it's like how they got to know each other.
Well, but they met each other on the show was the problem.
Oh, well then fuck that. So
the most
it would just be later. Like it's just an old crew.
Yeah, and so like it's I don't know. Like it was interesting when they first announced Picard. I thought it was going to be like most of the old crew with like some new people mixed in, of course. But like, yeah, then that wasn't
like a passing the torch almost kind of thing.
Maybe. And then, yeah, there was none of that in the first 2 seasons, and it was just not great. And so then season 3, they literally were like, actually, the entire cast of The Next Generation is back, and we got rid of almost every single cast member from season 1 and 2. And I was like, this feels like a hell of a backpedal. Not that I'm unhappy about it, because I was like, I did not like seasons 1 and 2, and I love Next Generation. So I was like, okay, this is a choice, but like I'm down because this is what I wanted from the start. And there's been 2 episodes so far, and I like it. It's good. It's really good. I don't know if I'm going to like it all the way through, but I like it so far.
Do they explain why everyone's gone?
Yeah. Well, because it's just like they've all like, it's not that they're dead or anything. It's like
phased out.
Their group was already kind of separated by the end of season 2.
Like they kind of do you feel like this was planned or like they at least had time to write it to make sense so it didn't come off like a just reset?
I think they'd figured it out by the end of season 2 that they weren't gonna like continue with these characters. So they all ended up like in places where it's not like everyone like died or whatever, but like one of them, like there was some time travel shenanigans in season 2. So one of those characters decided to stay in the past. One of the characters like became like a pseudo Borg queen and went back in time and forward in time and now is in control of a weird subsect of the collective. And so she's off on her own.
Cool, I think. Kind of.
I wish.
That sounds cool.
I wish it was cool. I really do, because I love the Borg.
That sounds like she's a Borg queen now. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like those sound like cool words.
I really wish it was cool. I really do, because it sounds cool when you say it as a sentence. They kept a character. One of the only characters that they kept, I don't really like, just because it's not a Wired plot. It's a very tired plot. I'm a little tired of it. It's undercover cop. Was an addict, now is recovered, now she's working undercover and she's constantly tempted to get back into drugs. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, Rosario Dawson's played that character like 6 times.
Literally.
We're good.
And I'm like, I think we've told
this. Rosario Dawson?
No, it's...
I would have pissed myself.
No, it's Michelle Hurd.
Hurd.
Hurd. Who Michelle Hurd is a very good actress. I just hate her character. I'm just so tired of that storyline. I'm like, do we really have to tell that storyline again in a sci-fi like hundreds of years in the future and we're still treading that same fucking plot? It's a little tired.
Don't they just have like a shot that makes you cured of drugs?
You'd think, but it's future drugs. You inject them in your eye now.
Wait, really?
It like beams it into your eye.
Jeez. Well, you wouldn't download a drug?
Well, she would.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah.
And then, of course, like, spoiler, I guess,
Spoiler for a show you won't watch, or you already watched.
Or exactly. You either already watched it or you're not going to watch it. In episode 2, she's, like, trying to, like, get information. Undercover cop.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way that the, drug lord she's trying to get information from will trust that she's not actually working for Starfleet is if she takes the drug in front of him. To show that she's, not part of Starfleet. And so, of course, she takes the drug.
And now she's going to spiral, and that's going to be her arc for this season.
Or she's not going to spiral, and that will be her arc, is that she really has conquered it. And I'm just like, I'm tired. It's episode 2, and I'm tired of her.
Like, it's like, okay, and?
Give Michelle Hurd better work. Because she's a talented actress, and she deserves better than this annoying
Is the acting bad in the show, or is it the writing?
It's the writing.
Okay.
The actors are doing what they can with what they got. And I will say, they did, again, spoilers, I guess, but they did go with a little bit. I'm guardedly interested in the series. It looks great.
You are complaining,
Beautiful.
but you are also like, I'm still going to be watching the next one.
I'm already far more invested than I was in season 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. But, like, they did do the tired ass also trope of, so, like, one of the characters, Beverly Crusher, she was the doctor on Next Generation. She and Picard have always had a will they, won't they, very, like, like, kind of a forbidden romance-y kind of thing.
Like our station won't allow it.
Yeah. They had that for, like, 7 seasons on the ship, where it's like, we kind of can't. It would be inappropriate. She's his chief medical officer on the ship. Like, that would be an entanglement. Also,
like, they'd have to, if they got together, they couldn't work together.
Probably not. They were.
Although everyone else is fucking on the ship.
They'd been friends for a long time before any of this happened, and Beverly married a different guy, and then Picard actually had to order him to, like, his death. Not like
intentionally,
not out of malice or anything, but, like, to save the ship, he had to order him to do this thing that got him killed. And so, like, that causes, like, tension. So, like, there's like, they've been will they, won't they for their entire, like, existence.
It is a friendship relationship that just has a lot of depths, and it's not very clear cut, and that's very realistic.
And anytime that there's any kind of, like, a Star Trek loves time travel, almost any single time that they have, like, a, in the original series, in the Next Generation, anytime they would have, like, a we jump to the future, there was always some kind of lip service paid to, like, that they were either together in the future or that they had tried it and it didn't work and now they're divorced. Like, it always
you never
came
got
back
to see
them.
it. Like, you never got to see it. You just always saw a result.
Yeah, you never got to see them together and happy. It was always just sort of, like, bounced around. And the writers specifically said that they did that because they needed to keep it open for, like, like, he's the lead of the show, so they need to be able to, like, give him, like, new, like, romances in the movies and stuff. So, like, that's why they never, like, had them get together. Whereas, like, in most of, like, after the movies were done, in most, like, the books and stuff, people have them get together because they're like, well, you've been teasing that they should be together for 12 years and then you just never did it, so now we'll do it. So now all the characters are back, but they can't have those two be together because in season 1 and 2 they had Picard hook up with somebody else. So now they brought them back, and so they went the direction of, like, the whole crew, like, still, like, talks and everything to each other. They're just not on the same ship anymore because life moves on. But no one has heard from Beverly in 20 years. Like, right after, like, the show ended, she disappeared and hasn't spoken to anyone for 20 years. And everyone's like, where's Beverly? Beverly?
Maybe she got lost in time.
Well, the series, season 3, the first episode started with Beverly, and it's showing her, like, rather than being a doctor, she's, like, looks like a mercenary, and she's, like, killing people who are, like, hunting her down and everything. And you're like, oh, damn, like, Beverly went badass while she
Beverly
was
gone.
Bulldog Beverly took the 20 years and became, like, a badass. And then, like, she's being, like, hunted, and she does, like, like a desperate encrypted message to Picard where she's like, trust no one, but, like, come save me kind of a thing, having not spoken to him for 20 years. And so then we get to have, like, the well-trodden path of getting the gang back together and being like, Beverly needs help, but she's been gone for 20 years. Where's she been? What happened? All this, that.
I don't even know where to start.
Right. And then they find her, and she's, like, incapacitated, and there's a young man on the ship there with her, roughly 20 years old. And they go, "Who are you?" And he says,
"I'm her son."
"I'm her son." And the camera conspicuously lingers on Picard after it's been established in an earlier shot that Picard, when he was telling his now girlfriend about like, hey, like Beverly like reached out to me, it's been 20 years, like she needs help, and the other, you know, his like girlfriend is like, weren't you guys like in a relationship? Like, didn't you try to be in a relationship? And he's like, tried being the operative word, but that was 20 years ago. And then she disappeared. Yeah. I think you can guess who the 20-year-old
So is it possible? So what you're saying is she got pregnant and left.
And we don't know why.
That's a very tired trope, to be clear.
Oh, yeah.
In more ways than one have I been tired of that trope.
Secret son caused her to be distant for 20 years. Now all of a sudden Picard, the person who's always like had a weird relationship with family and like doesn't really like, you know, how to engage with that sort of situation.
Haven't they given characters a son before and then they ruin it anyway?
Star Trek loves secret children showing up once they're an adult, so you don't have to pay a child actor. Star Trek loves that. They've literally already done that with Picard twice, and then it turned out it wasn't actually his kid.
But that's the thing. This time it is.
It really is. Because then in episode 2, Beverly...
Oh, wait, that was all episode 1, they find her. They didn't even stretch that for a couple episodes.
No. Because, like, the whole thing isn't, like... I'm guessing that, like, the problem isn't, like, finding her. Now the problem is, like, what happened over those 20 years that, like, turned her from, like, a doctor into, like, a mercenary with a 20-year-old son on the run, and, like, why are they being chased? We don't know any of that.
And I'm guessing that the plot of this season is going to be, well, fuck, like, I didn't want to get you involved, but I needed help, and so now you guys are kind of involved. The whole gang's together.
Yeah.
And it's going to be kind of like a, like, fuck, we're trying to solve your problem now.
Yeah.
Because now we're involved.
Yeah. And, like, and then in episode 2, like, they finally, like, you know, and, of course, Riker, who is Picard's, you know, his first officer for years. Those two are, you know, like, they're buddy copping, trying to, like, save Beverly or whatever. And like,
because they're undercover or no?
No, but they're doing it, like, secretly. Like, they coerce, like, the captain of, like, a Federation ship to be like, we're just taking it out, you know, like, on a, you know, a trial run kind of a thing. And then they're, like, actually doing their own thing. Beverly. They get her back to the ship or whatever, but she's incapacitated. She's in, like, a cryopod thing. And so then, like, you just have, like, the, you know, the lovable rogue ornery 20-year-old son who's like, I don't need any.
You're not my dad.
Blah, blah, blah.
You're my stepdad, Michael. That part.
And then meanwhile, Picard is like playing it real cagey, and Riker's like,
he's like Jean-Luc.
Riker's like, that's your son, right? And Picard's like, let's not speculate on that. And Riker's like, I'm pretty sure that's your son. And he's like, we don't know that, so let's cool it with that. Yeah. And then, like,
that's funny. And that's really funny, actually.
And then they're like talking, and then, like, Picard has to, like, talk to the kid, and they're like going back and forth. And Picard finally,
the guy, like the kid, but it is also a guy.
Yeah. Who is 20, but that actor's not 20. He's a lot older. Which, like, go for it. Who cares? He's been, you know, life's been hard for 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, if you were raised by a mercenary mama,
right? And so, like, he's like, you know, like, they're doing, like, you know, the kid is now, like, locked in the brig. And so, like, you know, they're doing classic verbal sparring. And then finally Picard snaps and he's like, who is your father? And then the kid's like, I don't have one, or whatever. And it's like, that's your dad. We all know that's your dad. And you also know that's your dad, you stupid bitch.
Yeah, your dad knows it's your dad.
Everybody knows it's your dad.
Does he look like Picard?
No. But he also has a conspicuous British accent. Beverly does not have a British accent, to be clear.
That accents aren't hereditary. Accents are very much so
learned.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's been raised strictly by his mother, who has a in no way British accent, but Picard has a British accent.
Which means that she only talked to him as a kid as in a British accent because, like, that's her way of, like, Picard will know.
Imparting some part of the father into him, or maybe he was sent away for some sort of a school situation, a British space sporting school, perhaps. I don't know. They haven't gotten there yet.
A British space boarding school,
and
playing space rugby with the boys.
Well, they've also been on the run for 20 years. Mm-hmm. Anyway, at the very end of the episode, they're getting ready to turn the kid over to this mercenary who's been hunting them down. And Picard's like, you got to give me a reason to not give you over to this mercenary. And the kid's like, I'm not going to give you a reason. I don't have a father.
Wait. Tired trope.
Yeah. Well, and in fairness, he's not angsty, but he's like leaning hard into like I'm just a rebel without a cause. And I'm like, okay, tired.
You're a kid who has never had a father.
Right. You're looking out here on this brig acting real fatherless. At the
that is it though. That's what it sounds like.
At the culminating moment of the episode when it's like time's up, like they have to decide, are we going to try to like fight this mercenary group or are we going to give the kid over to them? Riker finally is like, you know that's your kid, right? I'm gonna wake up Beverly so she can tell you that's your kid. Even though like the medical staff is like, she's heavily sedated, don't wake her up. And Riker's like, well, JK, I'm gonna wake her up anyway.
But she's heavily sedated.
Yeah, but he like wakes her up with like a magic.
They have the wake up drug.
Yeah,
smelling salts.
Mm-hmm. And he wakes her up and he like walks her to the bridge or whatever. And so there's a very poignant moment where like they're on the bridge and Beverly like walks out and she and Picard just like make eyes across the bridge. And it's honestly very well acted. Like they don't say any words, but you can.
A lot is conveyed without a word being spoken.
It's immediately clear that it's like, that's your kid.
This show is good when there's no writing.
Right. It's well acted.
They're giving it what they got. Like the visuals and stuff are good.
Beautiful.
Right?
Yeah. And so like it's a very poignant moment. They share like she just does like a little nod and she's like borderline crying. And then the captain of the current ship that they're on like turns or what, and Picard's like, we're not giving the kid away. And the captain turns, he's like, why? Like they're gonna like try to like kill us if we don't give him or whatever. And then like camera just slow zoom on Picard and he goes, because that's my son.
Do you ever have everything in your hand and all you have to do is not crush it?
Yeah.
And then you crushed it.
I almost love it though, because it's like
almost like
it's so camp and yet it's taken so seriously.
Which that is Star Trek.
Yeah. Like it really feels like
it's so bad it's good that like how did you Star Trek your own Star Trek?
It feels like so like just like old school Star Trek, but with like a budget now and with like the camera angles that like, you know, the Dolly crew wishes they could have done on like, you know,
that
season
Dutch
4
angle,
or whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like the better graphics and everything. But it feels like the old show in the tackiest and best way possible. I love that. So I don't know that it's going to be a great season, but I'm enjoying it so far, even though as things are going, I'm like, oh my God,
I'm already tired.
I'm like, of course, we have the son, the wayward son, who's actually Picard's. Picard finally has a family, but they haven't talked in 20 years, and now it's more complicated because she's been gone for 20 years. Now he has a new girlfriend. They have a new life. Also, she named the son after the husband that he had to order to his death. It's a lot. There's a lot going on. It's a good time. It's a good time, gal.
I'm gonna go get a drink. Do you want anything? I need a second
good.
After you dropped that little tidbit, real quick for no reason.
I'll entertain the audience.
Oh my! I need a moment to process that.
You better work.
Hey, Stinky.
Hi, Stinkies.
Tell him about the friends.
Hey guys. Hi, Diva. I'm gonna be honest. You guys won't know that reference. That's fine. So hey, how y'all doing? I like Star Trek. Star Trek's a pretty fun time. I think it's gonna be good. Here's a question. In the lip sync Lollapalooza of Drag Race season 15, does anybody else think that Spice actually beat Lucy LaDuca? Because I think Spice beat like Lucy LaDuca.
Why do you have so many of these Celsius?
Because it came in a really big pack. I bought them on Amazon because they didn't have the Arctic vibe.
I just remember you going, I can't have another one of these, Stevie.
Well, yeah, and then I bought
such
12.
A fun day.
It was a wild time. I'll tell them the Celsius story. How delightful.
Yeah. Real quick.
Hey, cool cats, kittens.
The audacity to name your child.
Oh yeah.
After your previous husband.
Oh yeah.
In a way of like, that's the father I wish you had.
Oh yeah.
And don't worry, but your dad is the guy who ordered your your namesake to your death.
Oh yeah. Although in fairness, ordered the namesake to his death 15 years before he was actually born. But yeah, now we have Jack Crusher the second, I guess.
Oh, that's weird.
But yeah. Hey, Stinkies.
Hi.
So here's the story about Celsius.
Celsius, not sponsored.
Not sponsored. Arctic vibes.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
I should have saved that because that could become part of the story.
It's not bad.
Thoughts? Yeah.
I could taste the Arctic.
Indeed.
Thank you for knowing what I mean.
No, I know exactly what you mean. It's a juiced up version of like the Gatorade Glacier Arctic Freeze Blast thing.
A slightly carbonated.
Yep,
It's not bad. Because I liked that watermelon one, but I feel like you suffer through. In hindsight, after tasting this is much more palatable.
Yeah.
Than the watermelon. Because the watermelon, you just drink it.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Also, I never liked blueberry this much, but now like I just got another case of my caffeine plus ice, like because it's the best soda supplement.
Absolutely. I was over at Brandon and Taylor's a bit ago, and we'll get to the Celsius story. This is also a Celsius story. Went over there, and Brandon had like poured a Celsius into a cup because he then put vodka in it.
I mean, I understand that like glass houses.
I would, yeah, but I never put vodka in a Celsius because I stopped drinking before Celsius.
No. I know. You know what? Like I'm saying, like.
But in another life,
it's a fucking vibe. Is all I'm gonna say. It's just I'm like Brandon. Now you're getting around to it.
Here's the thing. Okay, but like honestly, like I'm so glad that I stopped drinking before I knew Celsius was a thing because the way I would have filled that.
This is the new mixer.
Oh yeah.
Because it was the blue monster for a very long time.
And then it was the purple monster for a very long time.
Oh no, blue was always the backup.
Blue was the original, and then I found the purple. I was like, this is so much better, and blue was the backup.
Because it cut well.
White was the backup, and it wasn't good. But that was if the chips are down and you just gotta choke this thing down, you grab the
We're
white
gonna
monster.
ignore any analysis or thoughts about that statement. When the chips are down and
when you have to be in a different mental state and you're just not there for shots.
Alcohol is not a substitute for therapy.
It really isn't.
But also at the same time, it's more of like, no, like we're just all drinking and it's just shit. All I have left is this white one.
Let's go.
And like, I already did a shot.
Yeah.
So I can't go drive.
Right.
I don't want to.
I don't want to. I simply don't want to. So he had like poured the Celsius and it was this like horrific, sickly yellow color. And so Taylor was like, what is that? And he's like, it's a Celsius. And she's like, that's what color they are? He's like, that's what color this is. And I was like, what flavor is it? And they both like in unison go, the good one. I was like, what? I was like, what is the good one? And they were like I don't even remember what flavor it is.
Is it peach or something?
No, like the pear one. They're like, what's the apple pear? And I was like, hold on. Pump the brakes on. What do you... The good one.
Look, I gotta. Anytime that the two of them say that, like, this is the good one,
them agreeing so unanimously, I was like, I'm not gonna like this.
It's a weird constant.
If
where,
they were
like, if they
divided
both
on it.
like it, I don't think I'll like it. Because like
I share interests with both of them, but like the Venn diagram of the three of us, that center section.
It's so small.
There's not a beverage in there.
Beverly Beverage, where are you?
Beverly Beverage, where have you been for 20 years?
Beverly Beverage.
There's not a beverage in there. So I was like, I'm not going to like that. So I've never actually tried the apple pear one.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to.
But I don't think I would like it. And I'm not going to. I bought the Arctic Vibe one and I was like, this will do.
That's good, yeah.
It's pretty good. Celsius story.
I didn't think I'd be so much into blueberry stuff. Like, I was never like a raspberry.
I love blue raspberries.
Like, I really wasn't for so long as a kid because I like red.
Right.
So I'm your cherry or your blue raspberry. But like,
I love them.
you ask me what I drink, I'm like, I guess I drink like a blue raspberry, like carbonated water, sparkling water all the time.
Oh yeah.
No blue tongue though.
No. So,
I get a phone call
about
a week ago.
About a week ago.
We should bring back vines.
I had never had a Celsius.
Life Fit.
I had never had such a thing, but Brandon and Taylor swore by them and drink them constantly. And so I was like, I just don't know about that diva. And we were at your house actually at one point, and Brandon was like, hey, like, I'm going to swing by 7-Eleven or Circle K or whatever the fuck. And he's like, do you want me to grab you like a drink? And so I was like, yeah, sure. He's like, what do you want? I was like, oh, I like those sparkling ice things. He looked for them. They didn't have them. He bought me the grape Celsius. And he was like, here you go. They didn't have what you wanted. Sorry, but like, I think you'll like this.
Oh, we played Mario Kart at my house.
Right. This is a long time ago.
Is this my old house?
No, where you're at now.
Okay.
But it was
the one time you guys
something in.
It was the one time you guys had come over.
Yeah. We were helping move something. We were literally helping you move in. It was moving day.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So this was a while ago. Brandon bought me the grape Celsius. I had like a sip of it, and I was like, "This." Yeah,
because I had to pick up Janelle after. That's right.
I was like, "This tastes like powdery."
I remember you not liking it, whatever it was.
Yeah, and I was like, so I had like a couple sips of it, and then I was like,
because grape tastes like grape.
Yeah, and I love grape flavor. I don't like actual grapes. I like the thing that we've all decided is grape. But this one was a little powdery.
You like grapes?
No, I hate them.
Really? I like grapes.
The way that they just like pop and then like the fleshy, I don't.
My sister got cotton candy grapes. They're really good.
Yeah, I've had one, a cotton candy grape.
And you don't like it.
And I was like, this is a unique flavor. The texture is driving me up the wall. I can't do this. But so like I had a couple sippies and I was like, this actually isn't for me, but thank you for your service. Mm-hmm. So I didn't experience anything from it. I just had a little sippy and I was like, I'm good. Fast forward almost a year. Mm-hmm. These two pillars of our community, Brandon and Taylor, have fallen deep into a Celsius hole.
And they cannot get up.
They cannot get up. And I have yet to try one at this point.
Mm-hmm. Aside from the grape one.
Aside from this couple sippies of the grape one.
And to the point where you don't even remember that was a Celsius at the time.
Truly. And I was like, oh.
Not a truly.
That part. And I was like, oh, okay, well, no. So fast forward. It's a Tuesday. Tuesday.
Club going up. Was it last Tuesday?
It was last Tuesday.
It feels like it was so much longer. Not this week. It was last week.
Right. Not last Tuesday. The Tuesday before last.
Yeah, last Tuesday, not this most recent Tuesday.
Not 6 days ago. 13 days ago.
The Tuesday before the Tuesday we just had.
Correct.
And 2 Tuesdays before the Tuesday we're going to have.
That part.
In 3 weeks, this will have been 4 weeks ago.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. I have my...
Do you know where your Tuesday is?
Where's your Tuesday?
Tuesday's gone.
Is that Tuesday in the room with us right now?
He is now Body Positive Tuesday.
Got it. So it's a Tuesday.
I hope that joke was okay with me. I'm sorry if it wasn't. But if it was, then I'm proud of it, like a true asshole.
I had my one-on-one phone call with my boss.
Oh, yeah.
With my midwife.
Mudwife.
Oh, with my
the
boss.
Tough Mudder. Lady,
right.
Yeah.
That was coming up later on this Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm a bop on over to the Greens grocer, early in the morning times on this Tuesday.
The Greenery store,
if you will, because I was like, I'm gonna snatch up some groceries and then return to working from my home. And so I went to the grocery store, and I had yet to eat anything that day.
Yeah,
it was a hungry Tuesday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And so I snatched up some groceries, and then I happened to walk past the section that has like sparkling ices and things of that nature, and I see a Celsius. I see a watermelon Celsius, and I was like, you know what?
Because Brandon talks about it.
Brandon talks about this all the time. Taylor talks about this all the time, and I've been good all week. And
it's Tuesday.
I've got an empty stomach, and it's ready to experiment. So I snatch up that watermelon. Don't pay for it. Just drink it. No. No. Walk up to the register, check out. Get into the car. I've got my Celsius. Too small for the cup holder. It's a little can.
It is like this. It is like a 12-ounce can.
Yes.
Of like a Red Bull.
Red Bull,
like
can.
It is 12 ounces. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's that like you realized how thick a 16 can because it's the same height. I think.
Yeah, roughly the same height. And I was like, okay, it's too thin.
The 4 ounces of girth.
Yes, and it's bouncing around in there, and my hole is stretched too wide, so like it's just bouncing around. So I'm like, okay.
Hot dog down a hallway.
For reference, I had not realized how much caffeine was in a Celsius. I didn't read the back. I was just like, oh, cool. Celsius with, like my friends who I love and respect, they think this is a good thing to drink. So I'm going to trust them that this is a good thing to have in my body. And I'm driving home, not far from the grocery store, and it's this tiny little can. And I was like, I'm really thirsty. I haven't had anything today. So I cranked that motherfucking hog, and I popped the top, and I chugged the thing. And I'd finished it before I got home, which, pretty close to the store.
Not far at all.
No.
We're talking less than 5 minutes. 200 milligrams total caffeine per serving. They say don't drink more than 2 of these.
Yep. So I chugged the thing.
Which is that's the secret.
I immediately, upon finishing pounding this thing, pull into the driveway, stand up. And I was like, oh, wow. This is different. I feel lightheaded. And I was like, okay. So I look at the can and I'm like, how much caffeine's in this? 200 milligrams. I'm like, that number means nothing to me. No. What is that? I grab a sparkling ice that's in my refrigerator and I look at the back. It's a 16-ounce can. Yeah. It's 4 ounces larger than that. 70 milligrams of caffeine.
Yeah, it's a nice amount.
I'm like, oh, this is quite a bit more than that. And I'm like, well, I used to drink Red Bull. I look up a Red Bull 12-ounce can, 110 milligrams of caffeine. I was like, oh, this is a double Red Bull.
Yeah, it's like 2 Red Bull. Like that's a lot.
That's a lot. Mm-hmm. That's a lot. I start feeling it. I start feeling the shit out of this thing. My one-on-one is mere minutes from now. This was a run to the store and run home. And I'm like, I feel like my brain is currently hovering.
Like you just got high before your meeting.
It genuinely felt like a buzz, which I was like, I haven't felt this in a long time. How bizarre. This is weird.
How bizarre.
I'm double checking the can. I'm like, this isn't alcoholic, is it? I'm like, I didn't buy like a Truly, did I? Like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, no, this is just caffeine. My one-on-one call happens. I open my mouth and I just start talking. I'm just like,
let the lips.
I'm just fucking flying.
You felt 1% of my power.
I did. I was like, oh my God, I just won't stop. I'm like, I've got more to say. And I just keep talking and talking and talking.
Then now imagine that all the time.
I don't want to think about
I'm sure you go, I understand more where you come from, but I do not excuse your behavior,
Steve. don't want to be there anymore. And it was
I want to be
here. And then literally my boss was like, wow, you're really high energy this morning. I was like, I got to level with you. I was like, I had a Celsius. Have you heard of that? And she goes, no. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's a controlled substance. I was like, I don't know what I just had. I'm like, I was misled.
You're like, I sipped an energy drink and it made me too wired.
I'm like, I'm on another planet. I don't know what's happening to me right now. And I'm like, I feel so efficient though. I'm like, I think I'm going to go for like a run later. And she was like, okay, well.
I do love your boss. Like, she's great like that where she's just, oh, okay.
She's so flat. I love it.
She does not care.
She does not care. And I love that. And she's like laughing at me or whatever. And she's like, okay, well, I guess you're going to get a lot done today. I'm like, oh yeah.
Not for work.
Hang up the phone. And I'm like, I want to go for a run. I've never felt that in my life. And I was like, I'm ready. I'm ready to fucking run. I need to run. I need to move. I need to move my body right now. I cannot be still. Because I was like at the computer on the one-on-one. And I'm like, the mouse doesn't move fast enough. I can't type fast enough. I need to move.
I need to. There was a time where Sean Harper was at my house, I think for his birthday, and there was a girl over. It was very weird. It was the apartment that Brandon and I and Jordan had that was furnished. And like Brandon wasn't home, Jordan wasn't home, so it was me hanging out with Sean.
Oh.
Yeah, that's Sean, the guy in the warehouse.
Yeah.
And then like this girl Jazzy, who he was like, I'm pretty sure he like banged her on like Brandon's bed. Dope. Dope for me because it wasn't my bed. But there was a point where I was drunk. It was like wasted on whiskey, and I went, I need to go for a run. Like one of those where like, dude,
Oh, yeah.
like your body just calls
It
to
says
you.
it's time.
I'm like, I put my shoes on and I like ran around the block.
Hell yeah.
And like Sean came with me because he's like, I need to make sure that like you don't get yourself hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't care.
Oh my God, that was like the old late night Pokemon going.
Mm-hmm.
When I'd be like still drunk and I'd be like, it's time to Pokemon Go.
Remember when we
At
walked
1 in the
back
morning.
from when you, me, and Tyler walked back from Brandon's house?
Yeah. Oh,
And we're like, how long would it be?
It can't
like
be
a
that
half
far.
hour? It is a half hour. That's a long half hour.
It was.
It's really not that bad.
Also, Tyler wasn't very drunk, and I was on one, and she was very much having to like corral.
Yeah.
I'm sure
you were
she
a hot
was
mess.
miserable. I was having so much fun though.
It was a good time.
But anyway, yeah.
Because
So
we got her to, she had to restart her file and she'd pick her team and she was mad about it.
yes. So anyway, yeah, like Celsius is actually pre-workout. There's too much caffeine. People don't need that much caffeine.
Well, if you're going to use it.
Right. It was wild. So I don't know that I could recommend them. Drink them responsibly if you're going to have them, and don't have more than 2 because you shouldn't have more than 400 milligrams of caffeine in a day.
Yeah.
Because
I will, but you don't.
Right, because like it is a it's an addictive substance, but yeah, wild time. And so I was like, I want to have these in the back pocket. So like I'll have a sparkling ice like any day with no thought. Despite how many are down there in the fridge, that's just because I had to buy them in bulk. I save them for special occasions when I'm like I want to feel something.
You drank it at the beginning of the podcast because you knew, okay, in a couple hours, like the rush part of it will have died, but like the energy, or you'll get antsy and be like, okay, as soon as we're done, like let's bullshit for a bit, and then like I'm ready, let's go.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't ever want to like abuse them because like Brandon and Taylor like drink them so much now that like they don't feel anything from them, and I'm like, I want it in my back pocket as like when I want to be like real energized. I want to have that option.
You got to lower your tolerance, and the only way to do that is to be patient.
Right.
Same thing with like edibles. Where like if you eat them frequently, like you could be like, I had a 10 milligram and I got real nice good. Well, the next day you want to feel the same.
Right.
You got to eat 20, and then it's like you're eating through your supply when it's like, well, you could just wait.
Yeah.
But the truth is like, but I don't want to deal with. I don't want to not deal with my problems tomorrow. I don't want to deal with them now.
Yeah.
They're my problems. I don't want to deal with them now.
Yeah. Luckily for me, caffeine is still like a treat. Like it's not like an escapism thing.
Oh
like
yeah,
alcohol was for me.
Yeah.
So it's less of a like a I'm gonna have this because I want it. It's more of just like a I want to have a jazzy time.
Yeah. I mean, I do that sometimes where like, cause like I don't always take my 20 milligrams of Adderall. Mm-hmm. I take 30 every morning until I run out, and then I take my 20s. But like because of that, sometimes a lot of times I don't remember to like take my afternoon one, and I don't always need it, but then I also will have a small amount because like if I forget to call soon enough, it can be a whole thing. Yeah. And Josh called this, what would you call these?
Shells?
No, I'm sorry. Like
goosebumps.
Goosebumps.
Did he call it goose flesh? Goose pimples?
He said goose flesh.
Oh, goose flesh is fine. Goose
I
pimples
never
makes
heard
me
that.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, he's like goose flesh, and I'm like,
oh yeah.
I have never heard that. That was so odd.
Oh yeah.
I forget what I was just saying, so it doesn't matter.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Celsius is a wild time.
Yeah.
Unless you have a high tolerance for caffeine, in which case it probably just feels like nothing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sensitive to caffeine though, so it was like, wow.
That was you.
Me, as I pull into the garage, and I'm like, I'm kind of feeling it, and I turn the can around. That can looked back at me, and it said,
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
I was like, oh wow.
And you were like, whoa, hey there, and you said,
What did I say?
Hey, Stinky!
That's what I said.
you called me saying,
Hey, Stinky!
Oh, that was the other part of the story.
yeah, because like that was like the whole fun part. You got me to go out of my way to go and find it.
Yeah. So I finally hang up on my one-on-one, and I'm like,
Because you called me while I was like, I think I was like out, or I had just like I got on the
getting
phone
ready to
with
leave
you,
right as I called
and
you.
I was like, I'm gonna go run an errand, so this will be perfect.
yeah, I was like cranked and jaked, and I was like, what is this shit? And so then I literally was like, I'm like, I can't go for a run right now, so I'm gonna call Stevie.
I'm gonna run my mouth.
That part. So I was like, I'm gonna call Stevie. And so I called you, and I was like, you don't understand what just happened to me.
And I'm like, I ended up going to like, it was at the first place I went to, but it wasn't at the Fry's I was already at because I had to pick up meds. And I'm like, all right, cool. And you're like, you were just like going and moving and grooving and zooming. And then like we talked up until I'm like, okay, shit, I have to go. Like I think like I had a meeting. I actually talked on the phone with you through most of that meeting too, and then like it was referenced the next day, and I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Don't know what that.
And then no one called me on it, and I'm like, cool.
Work.
So
Wild time.
yeah, it was
Wild time. But yeah, the Arctic Vibe one is pretty tasty.
Okay, stinky.
Pretty tasty. Stinky.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. You know, I'm gonna come out and say it.
I'd love for you to say it.
So we're gonna be making some changes to the Hell Yeah podcast format, at least for a little bit.
We're gonna have to delete the channel.
Yeah, we're delete the channel.
Yeah. Channel's gotta go.
Get out of here.
Channel's gotta go.
Go Hell Yeah podcast. No, so like we have a lot of fun hanging out and talking, like, and whatnot. I assume we still keep doing it. Y'all ask a lot of questions, but we also really enjoy when there's just comments.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it. And so this is all coming in hot and fresh right now.
It's all coming back.
Or, you know,
to me now.
if we wanted to, we could do a very quick pause. Have
just like to myself.
Yeah, like they won't even know that we paused it for a brief second.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just be a small blip. I'm like, oh no, the camera lagged. I'm so sorry, but no.
Oh.
So like, there's a lot of questions all the time, and it's very sweet. But sometimes it's like, shit, if we didn't get around to them, we need to like go and clear them out.
Right.
As well as like, sometimes there's some really cool comments, and I think it would be fun to like, and not necessarily just like read every comment or read every question, but rather like, we'll go ahead and just like pick a few that like were cool we could talk about, because I think it'd be fun, because sometimes there's some really cool comments. Yeah. And like to hear it, because like that's
like the ones that are like, Eric, you're so hot.
Yeah, those ones in particular. Odie's there.
You're so hot.
Mm-hmm.
And Odie, I love your attitude.
Yeah, that part.
Hey, they are forever complimenting your hair.
Yeah. I was actually thinking of cutting a lot of it off.
I cut mine like quite a bit because it was getting like it was too long.
I might borrow your clippers, because you got like good blades. Like you got good clips as opposed to mine, because mine's just for my trimmer. So like I can do it on my own hair, but like it's even the longest ones make it a bit short for my take. But we'll see. I don't know. Yeah. It's that thing where I'm like, ugh, but then I have to have short hair, and then it's going to be awkward for a bit.
I wish I didn't look ugly with a buzzed head, because like the few times I do it, I feel so free.
It really
but I also
is.
Feel so ugly.
We look like lunkheads. Like we look like we're not ripped enough to.
I just have to wear hats all the time.
Yeah.
But like it's so
and your hat doesn't fit the same.
Right, but it's so convenient and nice. Like
Like my hair's too long now. Like within like where it's like dyed. Mm-hmm. Like it's fun, but like that's too long. Because I also keep the sides trimmed, so then it just keeps looking more and more awkward. And I'm just like, this is the worst. So, but yeah, so I figured, like...
Do you ever want to know what you look like bald, but without having to be bald?
Yes. I was told I have a good head for bald.
I want to know so bad.
Apparently,
but I
could just try.
But I'm not willing to do it.
No?
Well, plus, like, with all this facial hair and everything, I could be that fucker where, like, I keep the beard and then I'm just, like, completely bald by choice.
Would you want to go bald?
How powerful?
What if we both decided to go bald?
I know I'm going to look bad, though.
Yeah, well, then you just like, wear a wig or, like, a hat.
A different wig every episode. Mm-hmm. Preposterous wigs, not male wigs.
I mean, that would be...
Not male-presenting hair wigs.
No. It would... We gotta call Amy.
I'm gonna have like neon, like
party. We're going to Party City, honey.
Oh, you better believe it.
Do you know
like
how
my Halloween costumes? They've been great, like lace fronts. No. If we're wearing a wig, we're gonna wear a wig, honey. Like we're gonna go to Party City. Yeah. We're wearing tinsel wigs. Like
okay, like
this hard front busted ass plastic mesh fence on my head.
I'm kind of being serious. I'd be down to fuck around. Like in the like. Look, there's no like.
Do you want to be cool for the summer?
Do we want to go bald, like, as a joke, basically? Because it's like,
I'm not joking.
You always want to know, right? Like, I've always wanted to know, but it's like, fuck, I don't want to do it. Because it's like, the truth is, because like I was talking about this on my fucking Discord the other day. It's like, yeah, like, well, you know, worst comes to worst, like it'll like our hair grows back. But like, I would be less scared if we were both doing it. Like, okay, cool. Like, we're just, what's up? It's the Caillou episode.
Well, also, here's my thought: is that like, I love hats and I love wearing hats.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the worst that happens? I look fucking horrible. I just wear a hat all the time.
But you don't
until
got
it
the
comes
safety
back.
of the buzz on the sides.
Well, people will see and they'll be like,
I mean, if it makes you that uncomfortable, we'll
What's
shave
that?
our eyebrows too.
oh my God. No, I'm not trying to look like a thumb.
We just shave everything, and we're just hello, welcome to the clean, pure Hell Yeah podcast.
Ew. If I like shaved everything,
No.
ew. I'd look like a nasty little baby.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little afraid that we're gonna look like white supremacists, but
That is kind of.
we
also
could
a
take it
fear.
back. We could take it back. We're taking the bald back. To be
No,
clear,
no. I'm like, wait.
no.
I'm like, we're not taking supremacy back.
You can have white supremacy and hair. That's not true. I do not believe those things.
I know. I'm scared that I'm gonna look like a villain.
Yeah. Well,
Someone said I'm a Disney Channel original villain.
I saw that.
I was like, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
My sister, God rest her soul,
she's not dead
she's not dead.
yet. Sorry, that's foreboding.
We'll see if she keeps this attitude up. No. I love my sister very much. She's
cool.
She had some like, I don't know, Instagram filter or some kind of filter bullshit or whatever, where she's like, it turns you into like a cartoon character. Like here's what I look like. And I was like, oh, that's funny. Yeah, you look very sure. Soft Disney princess, blah, blah, blah.
Literally,
How quaint. And then
She's
she's,
a princess. We get it.
and then she's like, I didn't say it. And
No, but she wanted you to.
and so she was like, do you want me to do it to you? And so I was like, yeah, sure. So I sent her a picture, and it was during the time when I had my hair bleached, and it was like the light blonde. There was no gray in it. It was just like platinum blonde.
Mm-hmm.
And so I sent her a picture of me when I had that hair, and she converted it. And I literally was like, I look like the jock villain in like a high school cartoon. It was just funny to me. I was like, maybe I've lived long enough to be the villain. Maybe that's the problem.
Maybe.
Listen,
Well, look,
I have no problem being the villain. Villains are hot.
if we do it once, right? Because
Bald?
then, and we never have to do it again.
Right.
You get to figure out
If we
what it
like
looks
it.
like. Dude, we could,
The freedom.
because here's the thing.
The freedom.
Like,
If I could convince myself that I liked having my hair buzzed, I don't think
I'd
I'm ever
have to
gonna,
work
like,
out so much more though.
I don't-
Like, because if you're
yeah.
bald, if you're bald, one, you're already gonna look hotter in a black V-neck,
That
but you
part.
need more muscle.
I don't think I'm gonna like being bald, but I want to like having a buzzed head.
Yes, I understand what you mean.
But you can get to a buzzed head by starting bald.
Yeah, you can grow into it. You could finally have an appreciation for your buzzed hair because you didn't buzz it to that.
Right, because it'll be like, oh, thank God, finally enough hair's back.
What if we did it for we can make it
For
in
90
effect.
views on this video.
90 views? Like we just do
When
it?
we hit 90 views on this video,
Like how many?
we're going to go live and shave our heads. That's not true.
No.
I'm lol JKing you guys.
I mean, we're at 20. We're almost at 2,500.
We're too close. I need time to prepare emotionally to be
At
hairless.
3K.
That'll probably be fall though, and that'll be cool.
I mean, unless we start promoting it. Like, I'd have to start making more clips for the TikToks.
Yeah.
I did make one recently on stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just lazy.
That part.
That's the truth, is I'm just lazy, and I don't have a good structure for it. Like, of my own personal, plan of discipline.
You're just gonna hide my face from me. That's cute.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's cute and
Might be.
interesting.
Might be.
Because I just happen to be on this side of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm on this side of the camera.
Must be nice.
Hey, Stinky.
Hey, bald stinky. Hey, stinky bald.
Okay,
There's a
but,
storm
You've
coming,
got a big
baldy.
storm coming.
But our bald arc. Where were you guys at the bald arc? Because I don't want to say, there's some other things that I have thoughts on this, but it'll have to wait till after.
I feel like if I'm bald, I need to be tanner.
You can go by whatever you want, man.
That part. You ever met someone named Tanner?
Yeah.
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 How'd you feel about him?
He was the coolest fucking dude.
Yeah,
But
that sounds about right.
but in a we both worked at Safeway, and he was cool in the oh man, he's 23 and he's got a 5 o'clock shadow,
Right.
and he's really popular with girls.
Yeah.
And he just seems like a cool dude, but also kind of seems like he's not doing anything.
Tanner is a
He was cool when I was 18.
Tanner is such a weird name. I feel like
There's another Tanner I know, but he doesn't go by Tanner. He goes by his stupid name.
I feel like there were Tanners when we were growing up, and then I feel like they all disappeared
They all
in
moved.
middle school.
They all moved with Robbie to Vegas.
Yeah, and they're just gone. It's kind of like Corey. Like I knew a couple Corys.
there's a couple
one
Corey.
my one bully that I like, you know. Corey.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Don't push
Corey's
me.
disappeared in middle school.
Well, yeah, they fill them, or they've been mined of all resources. Mine would sell what you mine.
That part.
I'm sorry, I said it before you were going to.
That part. But they're gone. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
They're gone.
I don't know, man.
They're gone.
Sheesh.
Kids will say that.
I've been saying sheesh like a tick. My sister goes, "Is that a tick?" And like, I'm like, "What do you mean?"
It's what we refer to as a meme.
Correct. I understand because I'm like, no, my friends and I just have memes. Like it's like the dab.
Right. People are like, that's a verbal tick. I'm like, it's a meme. But I'm not memeing anymore.
My sister, I'm like, she goes, you just have your things, and I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, I was looking for the remote and it was not in none of your spots.
Oh.
And I have never felt so attacked. I'm like, what do you mean spots? She goes, well, you have like your normal spots that you like will leave the remote because it's like your train of thought. And I'm like, I didn't need you to come in here, little lady, little pregnant woman.
Small, tiny pregnant woman. Jason?
Momoa.
No. Other Jason. Our Jason.
Feet.
What?
Yeah.
Jason once told
The left foot of the feet.
Jason once told me that he was like, have you ever noticed you always got your hand up here, and I'm sampling this. I'm sampling it.
It makes sense.
I love that my hand it goes away. I just cease to be
What if we
beyond hype.
like lowered, like made it like slightly transparent?
Well, because here's the thing: is like my arm is of a certain length, and so it looks like in the camera my hand should be coming out the other side, but that is not the case because we're actually working with two convex angles. Jason, our friend Jason. I have to reach much farther. Oh, I went too high.
Like I think like closest to like, or yeah, like.
Jason once said that part. Jason once said to me,
I wish that like the black bar was like below us so that like, and like this was one camera so that I could like grip the bar. That would be really fun.
Jason once said to me, he was like, he looked me dead in the eye as a friend, one-on-one. And he said, have you ever noticed that every time my twin brother Jordan, not mine, this is Jason. I'm Jason in this moment.
Fraternal twins. Although I do like to say, we all like to say that they're
similar.
identical. They're very much so not though.
Jason, I'm currently playing the role of Jason. Jason looks me and you.
Jordan.
No, you.
Me. Yeah,
You are me. I am Jason.
Got it.
You're so hot. Oh
Thank you.
God. You look so amazing.
Steve.
Hey, Stinky. Looks me in the eye and goes, have you ever noticed that my twin brother, Jordan, when he takes off his shoes, he takes them off, like he puts his one foot forward, he puts his second foot on it, like to like pop his foot out, and then takes the second one off. But then he just walks away. And so you know where he took his shoes off because they're in line with the second one slightly in front of the other. And that's just how he leaves his shoes. Is like in a line with one kind of stacked on the other. And once those shoes are off, they're done. And then he just leaves them wherever they may be in a line. And I was like, why would you tell me something of that sort? Why would you hit me with that knowledge? Because then the few times when we did go to their apartment,
You can't unsee
somewhere in that apartment, there are two shoes just lined up.
I mean, like, I do that to kick, like, I use the heels, like, I'm kicking the heels off right now, but,
Yeah.
I typically will then try to go out of my way to, like, I like them to look orderly with all the other
Put
shoes.
them somewhere else. It's not that that's the way he takes them off. That's normal to, like, like, use, like...
He just
so you can,
leaves
like,
them. He just doesn't care to, like...
And it's not just that he leaves them anywhere. It's that they're left as though, like, the scene of a crime, perfectly in place where they were, in line, as though he was evaporated off the planet.
He got raptured.
He was raptured, and the shoes remained. Wherever they lay, there would be buried.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, no.
Oh, gee.
And it's true.
He just does that.
They're just there.
He's fucking
He's
wild.
at someone else's house, like, you whatever. Like, the shoes are going to end up that way. Sorry to call you out, Jordan, who doesn't watch this. But your brother called you out. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
So,
Josh watches
so yell at Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the fun fact about someone they've never met.
I love that for them.
I hope you enjoyed that.
I have to pee.
It's because of the caffeine.
Yeah, probably. Do you want to do questions?
Sure.
I mean, we could also just, like... answer the ones we want to answer.
I mean, we could pause while you pee, and then
Yeah,
when
that's
you're
true.
back, we could
Yeah,
ask
that
questions
sounds
and go
good.
from there. Okay, hey Stinkies, we're about to.
Oh, you still have not hit it. That's fine.
Okay, yeah.
Hello.
Boo. Questions. Hi.
Welcome to Question Time. What is it?
When is it?
A return to form, but also different.
We don't have a button for that.
Yeah, we should.
File not found.
You know what we need
Tried
to
to
do?
find our question time.
We need to
file,
just
couldn't find
take the 30 minutes it would take to record that little skit we were talking about.
it. Skit.
The thing that you
Oh.
Mhm.
Yeah.
the CS one.
Yeah, but that's not
But-
quit wit.
But we could though.
Right.
We could have it we could just we just gotta do it and then we can fuck around with it in post.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome to Question Time.
Oh. It's question time.
Replay camera 2, Chloe asked.
Oh.
1. Please choose your hell. Irremovable waypoints or counterintuitive dodge mechanics.
Chloe, you literally watched my fucking meltdown about the irremovable waypoint. I almost lost it.
I think
was on the edge.
irremovable waypoints or bad waypoints are so much more annoying than counterintuitive dodge mechanics because I can just learn to not dodge.
Not if you're playing Callisto Protocol.
I understand that. But you know what I mean? In games, I'll be fuck it. I play Dark Souls. I'm fuck me. You'll never see me blocking.
Right.
I parry. I don't want to deal with it.
I don't do that.
I can't
We
hold
dodge
my
roll
sword
like
with two
kings.
hands. Exactly.
That's
Thank
the
you.
only kind of dodge.
I
It's
frame.
Not like a little in combat dodge. No. I'm either going to dodge all the way out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna aggressively dodge roll and then come back and poke. None of this parry because
play Elden Ring
these dodge mechanics. To their point,
Mm-hmm.
it's basically dodging and parrying rather than an actual attack roll, get out of there kind
Yeah.
of thing. Because that's fun.
Yeah.
That resets kind of the thing. It resets the vibe,
Absolutely.
the Arctic vibe.
The Octu vibe. Yeah, a waypoint that doesn't remove itself or a quest marker that won't go away and it's bugged, will infinitely bother me more.
It pushed me to the edge. It pushed me to the absolute edge.
What's your 90s jam? Blue by Eiffel 95. Spice Up Your Life by the Spice Girls. Jump Around by House of Pain. Mambo number 5. They all are. Every 90s jam is a 90s jam.
They are 90s jams. Blue speaks to me.
Blue's good.
I love Blue.
Jump
But I do
Around I love.
But I do like the new version of Blue better, actually.
Oh, is there a new one?
With the David Guetta and BB Rex.
Oh, okay.
I'm good.
Oh, I'm good.
Alright. I actually like that even better than Blue. But Blue is great. I don't know if Numa Numa, which I know that's not the name of it. I don't know
the
if
Numa Numa song.
I don't know if that is technically 90s, but it was 90s to me. It felt it feels it lives in that.
That's the thing is I
lives
would
in
need to
there.
see a list. I'm not good at coming up with it, but if you can give me an array of options,
Right.
a list of 90s jams, then
Ladies and gentlemen,
Mambo
number 5.
I saw I think it was, I don't know if it was posted on my server in the Only Funnies media share part, but it was me after sitting through 4 Mambos, and it's he's okay, I'm getting ready to get up, and he goes, ladies and gentlemen, he's Mambo number 5, he's just god damn it, and sits back down.
I loved that one where I think maybe it was a tweet or something, but it was me desperately trying to just finish one last assignment or something, and then it's my brain, ladies and gentlemen, me, please.
No.
Mambo number 5.
Boom, ba-dum, boom, boom, ba-dum, boom.
Hell
To the
yeah.
hustle. I can't I hope that he does something where he does grab because that's a
Right.
fucking sick way to fight. Grab somebody from the back, use your muscles to throw him head first into the ground. I am making this character infinitely cooler than he could end up being.
Do you remember the hamster dance?
Oh yeah,
Come on, everybody.
But
The hamster dance.
dude, Hamtaro fucked. It was great. I remember the
It's a
King
real
hamsters.
pocket.
Oh sheesh. Are both of them pockets?
Uh-oh.
Are you getting double pocketed up?
Uh-oh.
That's a fake pocket. But they don't know which one's the real one. They don't
They
know
don't know
that I
I'm
have
the
a
crown
fake
prince of pocket.
Okay, the last time we played, I'm sorry that I had to go, but also Divinity has hit that spike
It's
where
hit.
we're okay, we know enough now,
Yes.
and it's okay if we just sit around for a minute too.
Yeah.
That's fine. We're having fun.
I'm having a delightful time.
Well, no, Josh has Aaron this week,
Oh.
right? I think he hasn't texted us to play, so I'm assuming.
I don't know.
One sec. Hey, Dad. Sorry, my dad just called, but I'm
so grateful for that pause button.
It's great.
The world is our oyster now.
Well, honestly, it gives the illusion of editing. Yeah, live editing. Well, just like, oh, okay, we don't have to have like a comp. Like, I didn't need to necessarily take that, but like, I knew what it was because he called me while we were at breakfast.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, because he wants to play, but I'm like, I might be busy.
He's got to get his head in the game.
My dad won't text.
That's fair.
Well, he does text, but like, did I send you the picture of the dog? That happy dog.
I don't know. Oh, he's the happiest boy.
I'll send it to you
That
so you can have
cute.
it. It is. I found this picture a while ago. I don't know why, but it just fills me up with joy. The dog is so happy, and it really does look like.
That is the happiest little man.
I was playing Call of Duty with my dad, and I sent this to him, and he goes, "Oh my God, do you know this dog?" And I went, "No, Dad, it's from online." He goes, "That dog is so happy."
That is the happiest little dog.
I have yet to meet a person who I've shared this picture to who wasn't just like, "That was a really happy dog."
It's a very happy dog.
I sent it to you so you have it now.
I have things to show you after this.
Okay.
Have you seen you've seen Monty Python's Holy Grail?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah. It's fine.
I'm one of those people where like I have seen it and I know a couple of the jokes, but I am not someone who can like repeat it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll continue on.
Yeah, we'll continue. So yeah, like 90s jams, we'll find more. So
Yeah. Right above this, we got our.
So one other thing that we can do too, that is a function of the Stream Deck, is you can make it hide a source. So like we could just, instead of having to like, oh, go find it, you could just turn it off, turn it on. Another cool thing. Anyway, so now we have Empress Arcana. Hot damn. Would you like to take the reins?
Oh God.
We can switch off or whatever. I guess you pass me the talking stick when you want me to talk.
Eric and Odie. The journey. Journey.
No,
the journey continues as you walk out of the church with the page of cups
following close behind, holding the map in their hands. The page stops, noticing a black horse and a white horse.
One in a black hoodie, one in a white hoodie.
But they're wearing opposite color hoodies.
Harness to a chariot.
Whoa, this wasn't here before. Do you think the chariot is here to take us to the kingdom of cups? Maybe. The Hierophant called us the chariot service. I hope this is paid for. I'm kinda low on money. The chariot services are always so expensive. Being a lowly page comes with a lowly page salary, sadly.
We can't do this.
We're not going to do it the whole time, but that was very fun. I'm glad that it was like, oh,
okay, yeah.
That's how you know you got good brain waves with your buddy, is because like we did that we did when we did that bit, I think for Glitter's question, where we both decided to just completely go on tangents.
Yes, and talk
like,
over each other.
That was a very fun bit.
It was a good time.
We hadn't really done that before.
No,
that was very fun.
We've been known to do bits. We're bit people. The charioteer makes their way towards you, wearing a black and white masquerade mask, smiling softly. Beneath the mask, I was told 3 adventurers were headed to the Kingdom of Cups. Are you those adventurers?
Yeah. Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
My name is Page of Cups.
My name is Page.
The Page of Cups says immediately, flailing their arms.
Yes, we are.
Follow me then. We have a ways away before reaching our destination, but I will do my best to get you there safely. The charioteer guides you into the chariot, proceeding to take hold of the reins, setting off to the designated location.
Ooh, location.
Location.
The Page of Cups fidgets a bit, feeling cramped. I suppose this isn't one of the premium chariots, huh? I don't mind. So I feel so much closer to my new friends already. Noticing the charioteer tightening the grip on the reins, the page couldn't help but asking, "Is there something wrong?" Emotions are a fickle thing. Emotions are a fickle thing. We put so much time and effort into caring for others, protecting them, even sacrificing ourselves, and sometimes we lose ourselves along the way. The moment I lost control of my emotions, I began to wear this mask. The persona is born in order to protect myself, yet at times I feel I have become consumed by the mask as well. Now I choose to stay in control. I have chosen the mask. the charioteers, as matter of factly.
Is that what makes you happy? The page asks sincerely, holding their bag close to their chest.
Mm-hmm.
Classic high school.
Yeah. Like,
Oh, you're the... Oh.
don't talk to me.
Oh, please don't chase me. Oh, please don't bully me.
Oh, no, please don't pin me down and kiss me.
Oh, no, don't shove me against a tree.
Don't hold the delicate power balance so loosely between your fingers.
Definitely don't do that thing where I'm like kind of like leaning against the corner, like looking at a book, and then you come up and you like put your arm like this and you're like kind of boxing me in the corner. Definitely don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't
Don't spit in my mouth.
Yeah. Definitely don't just like kind of, you know, like grab me by the neck and then just like squeeze, but like just a little bit. But like I know you could go tighter, but like you don't. And like the restraints, like like don't do that.
You ever listen to an audio and the voice actor decides to do something that you're like, I don't like this, but for you in that specific audio, because no other audio, like someone does it, you're like, ew, what the fuck,
right?
But then it's just like for whatever reason you're just like, there was some other one where she's like, open your mouth, and you're like, what? And you just and it was just like a very like. The voice actor did an amazing job of like making a spit sound.
Right.
Like I was like,
yeah.
I was like, and I'm just like, on my bed, just like, what am I doing with my life? As a joke.
Tiny peek behind the curtain. There's a Vega. There's an Imperium Vega at SFW where he spits in their mouth.
Oh yeah.
And first of all, I actually spit on my floor, which then I was like, I have to clean that.
Yeah.
Because I wanted the sound.
Yeah.
I need good Foley. So you just got to spit.
Sometimes you got to do it.
Anyway.
That's why you hire real men.
I made them lick it up.
Yeah.
No, but it, yeah. So like, there was a comment. I don't remember who it was, but someone was like, I always think like spitting in someone's mouth is disgusting. And then in this audio, I was just like, okay.
That's it. That's it. You like, you understand. Like they understood. They understood.
They understood.
It's like, okay.
Oh.
Like I didn't not like it.
Yeah.
I don't think I liked it.
Yeah. I'm currently accepting applications.
It's weird.
I'm listening.
But then I was like, okay, well, maybe I should look up like something else. And
Spit
then
audios.
And then, I'm like, yeah. And then I was like, ew, no, stop.
Some
gross.
things are very situational, and like depending on the vibe and the person and the
build up, yeah,
and the takedown.
You recoil damage, you know.
The question took the charioteer by surprise. Such a foolish question.
Talk about a spit fetish.
Oh my god. Such a foolish question. Right now, I'm focusing on moving forward. Nothing else.
The energy in the chariot has significantly shifted, but it didn't stop the page from reaching out from behind the charioteer, wanting to place a hand on their shoulder, but hesitates. The Page of Cups smiles nervously. That's okay. If you ever need to talk, we're all here for you. We will listen, especially if you need a friend or simply a listening ear.
Now, I'm going to stop you right there, Paige. And this is a life lesson for everybody. It's great to be there for somebody, but don't decide that other people are there for somebody.
Don't see.
Not everybody's ready to be a listener.
I could have been there, but now that I'm being voluntold to be there, I don't want to.
I'm now coming into this with a bad.
I'm coming in with a forced obligation that, although is not technically binding, I'm not comfortable enough to like express my own boundary to this bitch.
And I now feel an expectation to both the person I'm supposed to be helping and the person who now voluntold me for said help. Because now I'm like, now this help is coming with judgment from them. Not good. Don't do that to people.
Don't put people in positions they don't want to be in.
Only speak for yourself when it comes to providing
at least
care.
like stretch first.
Right.
Okay.
The choices are as follows. Agree with the Page of Cups and offer the charioteer a safe space to talk if they want. Wait. What is with this impromptu therapy session? I think so.
Yeah, that was funny.
It was the cough. Aren't we therapists now? We didn't sign up for this. Change the subject and talk about the lovely chariot decor instead. Looks like they put a lot of thought into it. Anything to make this conversation less intrusive. Drag the page back to their seat. All I ask is for one of these chariot ride services to be in complete silence. Why is there always someone that wants to talk?
I mean, what if we let him? I just don't want him to be offended.
Well, here's the thing. If this was in real life, for the to protect my peace,
Mm-hmm. The peace in your home,
famously once
and your
said.
Kokoro heart.
Yeah. I would just quietly just nod and be like, yeah, sure, like say whatever, because I'd be like, I'm not about to make this chariot ride uncomfortable. So I'd be like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm good.
I'm already uncomfortable in this chariot ride because of the Page of Cups.
And then I'm gonna instead, harbor resentment for the page for having volunteered me for.
But also, the chariot didn't need the charioteer did not need to just go like, I don't feel emotions. That's why I wear a mask.
Right.
Like, okay, that
sounds like someone who wants to talk.
That's like when Jordan and I in his buddy's car broke down at Dunlop in 17 and had the guy who like had the bubble guts and left our car like up there for an hour, took us on the ride home and said, it's nice that I finally got like my license back to carry a gun after I killed a guy. And I'm like, dude, this is just a tow.
We don't need to know all this.
Unprompted.
Unsolicited.
Absolutely. And he's like, well, it was fine. He was a crackhead. And I was repoing his car. And I'm just like, stop telling me.
Literally stop telling us information.
And like Jordan sat on the right and I had to sit in the middle. I had to sit next to this guy.
That seems like the place you'd be though.
I know.
Hey, Stinky.
Yeah. Me, the bubble guts.
Yes.
And he had to, because it's Dunlop in the 17.
Yeah, not a
You
place
can't go into the convenience store. It's one of those where like they go and get you the thing after dark. They lock the doors.
Yeah,
and he had to argue with the guy for 15 minutes to let him in. So he didn't shit his pants. This was hell. Should we just? Yeah, it's a safe space. Agree. You know what? I feel like
we'll talk to the page later.
Yeah,
we'll be like, hey, buddy,
let's cool it.
Listen, I appreciate your empathetic heart. How about you speak for yourself in the future? We need to establish some boundaries.
If you would like to, that's fine. But
I respect that.
I need you to understand that when you do this, it makes me feel like I'm now obligated. And it's not that I necessarily wouldn't, but it feels like I have the choice taken from me.
Right.
And that does not make me feel like respected and valued. Yeah. And it feels like I'm put in a position. I know that may not be your intent, but that is the impact of what you're saying and like on me. And like, I may not have had a problem, but now that I feel obligated, it is now hard to make that decision unbiasedly on my own Kokoro wish, heartfelt. It's Japanese, but you would know what that is.
Young lowly Page of Cups.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't know if he's young.
Old Nintendo playing cards, because that's how they started, right?
That is how they started, actually. Yeah. But that's a conversation for perhaps after the chariot. We're just riding solo.
Yeah, I'll say we can tell them it's a safe space.
Yeah, it's a safe space.
But like, it's a safe space to talk, but also we can just be quiet if you want to.
Right.
I kind of want to do all three.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, yeah.
That's so fun, Arcana. Thank you for writing those.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You did not click it.
Do we want to click that or do we want to pause?
Pause. Bye.
Bye, Stinkies.
Hello. New question from Kale Spinch. What's your go-to snack food? Also, this is the second time in a row Odie has brought snacks to the podcast, and I'm really hoping he brought enough to share with the class. I did. We still got these.
You may each have one.
Just one.
Just one.
Orange? Oh, green.
You can all have the orange ones, and we'll snap them in half.
The red and the purple ones are the best ones.
I love blue raspberry. These blue raspberries, not my favorite. Good, but not great. Mm-hmm. My go-to snack food is definitely just like a classic salted potato chip.
Classic Lay's or barbecue Lay's?
Yep.
Almost
just
always.
A classic potato chip.
You just want a snack.
It's just a good go-to snack. The problem is like, if I buy a bag of chips, I'm gonna eat the bag of chips.
Yeah.
Like
it's really hard not to.
So I really gotta like be thinking about it.
And I'm not buying a smaller than family size bag.
And I should.
Or party size.
And I really don't. Like, I am a single person living singly in a single home, and so I should be buying singles of things.
But you'd save so much money if you bought the big one.
That part. I come from the land of like buy in bulk because like that's how you make the deal, but we need to save the money.
The art of the deal.
And so then I'm like, I can't buy like an individual bag of potato chips. That's so expensive for no reason. Buy a family size bag and then just like, only
Party
take
size.
a little bit. But then it's like,
how do you stop yourself?
there's no one here to judge me for eating the whole bag. So I will judge. So eat the whole bag. I will.
Yeah. I try to like, I'll have some and then like I have to go, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because it's good to have just munchy snacks. Like just for when you're like, I know it's not good and I'm not going to like count how many I'm It's like, yeah, 13 Cheetos is one serving. I'm like, I'm not eating 13 Cheetos. I'm eating a lot more than that.
When I am feeling a little bit healthier, I'll get popcorners, the basic salted ones. I like them a lot, and I don't feel that drive to just eat the whole bag. I eat them like a normal person eats chips. Where I'm like, I'm just going to have like a handful and then put the bag away for 2 days.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I haven't had that with any other
I bet you also have bland sex.
salty snack. Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy?
Yeah. Weather Report with his stand.
For
Weather
$7
Report.
on Patreon, you can get a glimpse into fake sexual encounters with me.
Oh. Have you ever wanted to pretend to have sex?
Have you ever wanted to pretend to get fucking railed? And also occasionally railing.
You're nailing me. I'm nailing you.
I'm nailing you.
What is that from?
I have no idea. You and Jordan and Brandon say that.
Okay, because I'm pretty sure.
I got it from you goons.
I want to say that, like, we got it from some fucking video.
got it.
But, like, to the point where, like, now it's almost like, I think it's just something we just, like, we joked around one day saying of, like, yeah, like, you're nailing. It's like, I'm nailing you. It's like, yeah, you're nailing me.
Whatever it came from, I'm sure our version is very far removed from the source material, which is class.
Because, like, even, like, Tyler says it. I'll
Oh,
be like,
does he?
yeah, like,
Where?
well, one time we did, and I got we had to stop because
You
it was very
said
funny.
I'm nailing you during sex?
Yeah, and she went, "You're nailing me," and then we both like almost pissed ourselves laughing so goddamn hard.
Oh my god.
You met us.
I've met
You've lived
you.
with us.
I lived with you for a long time.
Not surprised.
I'm not surprised, but I am
The madman, he did it.
the absolute madman.
You ever live your dreams?
Listen, what else can you ask for other than a classic volley back?
Well,
with,
look,
you know,
like
a
things are
name-
getting
the
too
name
good.
of me?
As Tyler would say, why do you always you get so sweet and then you just ruin it by
It's
being a
getting
little
too
shit?
real. So I'm nailing you.
I just
What is there 1,000% of? Biotin. Biotin.
biotin.
Biotin.
That's you.
Oh my god, we're consuming metals.
Biochippy. Biotin chip.
1,000% me.
And 100% reason to remember the
Y'all
name.
can't handle me. 131% of riboflavin, my favorite micronutrient.
Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
Stop.
Okay. All right. Scroll up. All right, I'll do it. Stop disrespecting the best thing on the planet. How dare you? Whatever, Sin.
Whatever Sin was making a joke about the joke though.
Michelati, which I believe is Jemmy, based
Scroll
on.
up a touchy bit. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, now down. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I see. I
Yep,
see.
yep, yep,
I
yep,
see.
yep,
I
yep,
see.
yep, 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 yep.
Quimshin time for quimshin time. What type of platonic physical contact is the most comforting to you? I.e., I love a hug, but I don't like cuddling. Oh.
I like a handshake with money in the hand, in the palm. Good Foley. Okay. Some tappy tappies.
The hustle.
I feel very comforted.
Actually, the ASMR, like
pretty
when
good.
my wallet came out, I'm like, I
Good
like
sound.
that. Yeah.
Now you have to struggle to put on nitro gloves for 15 minutes.
You're right. I think I do want to like invest in
Crypto?
getting. Yeah. No. Doing like a good mic setup like this for my stream is like a next level. I just gotta get
good to
around to
have.
it because I like I don't want to do ASMR content, but like
Right. Good
this
audio
is
is good
This is
audio.
very satisfying to like. I can be like this.
Good, juicy, visceral.
Sometimes I want to be quiet and be like, "What's up, kittens?
What's up?
Sluts."
Discord kitten sluts.
That's right.
Getting it in the VCs.
You're not supposed to.
Don't do that.
You're not allowed to give birth in VC.
Don't give birth in the VCs.
There's a lot of rules in my
Audio chat
VC
only.
that are not written.
right.
But like
Unspoken, no pregnancies in the VC.
no pregnancies.
Well, rather no birthing.
You're allowed to get pregnant in VC.
Quietly though, on your own terms.
Yeah,
you don't
like,
have to brag about it. Come
It's very
on.
much of like, is it gonna annoy? Is whatever is currently happening annoying me? Then now there's a rule
Your
against that
insemination
behavior.
is so annoying. Can we just? Can we
Sorry,
do something else?
I'm a loud inseminator. Squirt the gird.
Are you ready for my brogurt? Yeah. Gather the children. You weren't there for that. Yes, you were. No, you weren't. When was that said? You weren't there. Who was there? Someone was there. You weren't there.
I'm aware. You didn't have to say that 9 times.
I couldn't remember.
It's like, I can't remember who was there, but I do remember that you weren't there.
No, I couldn't remember if you were there, but you weren't there.
It doesn't sound like I don't recognize.
Yeah.
File not found.
Yeah.
So, to answer this question though,
comforting.
Like, I mean, hugs are nice as long as they don't last too long. And like cuddling's nice, but also like I think it's important to like talk with like your partner or cuddle person that like there will hit a point where body heat is now making it warm and we're going to need to not cuddle. And it is not because I do not like you. It is because I need to cool down and not in like a spicy way.
Cool down.
Yeah. We got to lower that temp. Like it's just, it's high, man. Right. Shit. I mean, that time that we slept on the pull-out bed in Vegas, like it got hot too.
Yeah.
Cause it's like we're two hot dudes.
We got big, sexy, hot bodies, 2 of them pressed against each other.
It's our big, fat, heat emitting cocks.
We were just like, sweat dripping.
You know what's like to sleep on your balls?
Yeah.
Because they're so big. It's like your own portable bed.
Yeah. When we're bald in a bed together, it's going to be dynamic.
Yo, I can't wait.
The fires is going to start.
We're going to be pinheads.
People aren't going to be ready for it.
They aren't ready for the bald.
And we're the people. I'm not ready for it.
Yeah. I mean, we're. I think we should. I think it'd be really fun.
I think we should, but they should like subscribe for it or something. Like, don't
give it out. We got to make it a goal. We can make it 3K.
Yeah.
Because that's like a substantial.
But only if they do it before summer. Because like I don't want to be winter bald.
Do you want?
I'm not a warehouse gentleman.
Okay. Well, here's the thing.
Love them, though.
Do you want to be bald for the Fall Out Boy concert in June?
I'm gonna wear a hat there. It's gonna be out in the sun.
Oh, that's a good point. Oh, we burn. We want to do it before summer too, because we'd burn the fuck out of our heads.
Right.
We'd have to do it soon.
Right. Unless we do it in the spring and then end up loving it, and then you keep it through the summer. Cool for the summer. Cool for the summer.
Cool for the summer.
Cool for the summer.
Okay, we'll get back around to it. What about you?
I don't have much physical contact in my life ever.
Like we don't really hug. Very rarely.
I don't.
Not as a bad, like I'm not like disparaging you. Like it's just like we call it out when it happens too. I'm like, we don't hug.
It's not Broadway. I don't like hugs. I don't dislike hugs.
Don't dislike hugs.
I just I don't know. Like growing up and everything, like my family is like we're very like like affectionate in the sense of like we say like I love you and everything. Like that was never like something that was like we don't say it. It was never that. But we weren't like super physically affectionate with each other. And so then like that just wasn't really something that like I took into other parts of my life. Like, and most of my friends are kind of on the same thing. Like I don't hug my friends. Just like we don't really do that.
Yeah.
It's just not something that any of us do. So like platonic physical contact.
Jordan and I will bro hug.
Yeah.
But you don't even bro hug.
Well, Jordan hugs me.
Well, Jordan's a hugger.
Yeah, which is fine. Like, if someone else is a hugger, like, I'm not the one who's going to be like, ew, don't. Like, I'm totally fine with it. But
especially if we're already friends. Like, if we're cool, like, I know what you're about, man.
Yeah.
No worries.
But I never engage that kind of contact because I don't know. I don't know other people's comfort level with it. And, like, I'm fine with it happening. But
like at the Super Bowl party, like, I gave Jordan a hug, I gave Jason a hug because it's like, dude, like, I haven't seen you, like, since the last party. It's been a while. Like, hey, bring it in. Like, we're still good, but it's not like an embrace for a long time. It's very much of like it's not just a handshake.
Right. Handshaking's weird. But like, I just, I had some other point I was gonna make, but I can't remember. Yeah. I don't really do much platonical physical contact. I mean, like, I guess like it's really basic, but literally just like sitting next to each other on the couch and like you're touching, but like it's not a thing. Like, you're not thinking about it. You don't care. Like it's literally just like being like in a space with someone and you're close enough that like
you could feel
your arms are touching, your legs are touching, whatever. But like
it's not weird.
It's not weird.
It's not that one night in the old game room.
One night.
The one night.
More than one.
Well, there was one night.
Well,
we don't talk about that night.
But yeah. No, but like that is comforting to me because like I associate that with like really comfortable quality time where you're just not even thinking.
It is I would like to like independently hang out with you we talk about it all the time where it is like an introvert's wet dream of like We're
just
both
there.
We are both doing separate things that is primarily preoccupying our time, but we are like hanging out on the same couch on different TVs, but like also dicking around on our phones and like talking about whatever. Like it's not like the conversation isn't even like always talking or always doing one thing. It's like, oh yeah, we're both doing something and then we're talking about something completely different. You know, it's a very fun time, and that's that type of thing. But like physical contact, like, yeah, I mean, holding hands is nice to a point.
I've only very rarely done that, and then I usually get preoccupied with the way that the other person's hand feels, not in like a bad way or in a weird way, but like I just take notice of it, and I'm like, I wonder if that's what my hand feels like. Yeah. And then I feel my own hand, and I'm like, but you can't.
You feel both at the same time. So it doesn't like here, like. Why did you choose your right hand to hold my right hand with? This is just a handshake.
We're holding hands.
You're right.
Because I wanted you to feel my palm. When am I supposed to do this? I'm not a dainty.
Oh, well, no, we could do this. See, like, and then that makes a good palm pocket.
Right.
But like, yeah, like, I mean, like, it just feels warm.
Yeah.
Does mine hand feel warm or no? Your hand's warmer than mine. Yeah, like it's just
a hand.
Yeah.
But like Taylor's hands, I like to joke that they feel like
polyester.
No, vinyl. No, they feel like
corduroy.
I mean, she got so bad when I said this. That it
like
feels
a shag.
like it feels like it feels like construction paper. Not in like a bad way, but like that, like kind of soft but slightly textured, but like, you know, like no heat, just sort of a thing.
Yeah, she does kind of have.
That's kind of what it felt
She's got
like.
Weird skin.
That's what it felt like when we held hands. And I was like, and I literally looked at her and I was like, your hand feels like construction paper. And she was like, why would you say that to me? And she was like trying to like get her hand off. I'm like, no, wait. No. I'm like, I didn't mean anything.
You're doing it wrong.
Wild times.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What's the best snack assortment at the movies?
Popcorn.
Popcorn. That's
just popcorn.
All
That's
I
all
don't
you
want
need.
anything else. I don't care about anything else.
All right. Next question.
Stinkies.
Alrighty. So Malika Maya asked, we may not have the best answers for this, but we'll answer them. At what point do you think you will be completely satisfied with where your respective projects are? Like, is there a set of numerical metrics and or personal markers where once you met them, you would 100% need nothing additional from beyond them at that point? Or does that point not really exist for you?
I mean, like, a lot of the pie in the sky markers that I had just ever imagined, I've already kind of hit. Like 10K seemed unimaginable. 100K seemed unimaginable. And I've hit those things, which has been amazing. And so like, I tend not to put like too many like number metrics on things. Those are kind of like archetypical, like YouTube almost sort of like pushes those numbers onto you. As,
it would be really cool,
points.
But also like, it's not the basis of my self-worth.
Yeah. And so, I mean, like, it's already at and has kind of been at a point where, like, I am really satisfied. I mean, like, I would love more growth. I'd love more people to hear the stories and everything, of course. But, like, I'm genuinely satisfied with where it's at now. It's already so far exceeded any expectation I ever had.
It's like, I just kind of want to do it as long as I can, I guess.
Yeah, as long as it's still enjoyable, as long as still, people like it and I like it. So I don't know that the point does exist, or I think it keeps moving, not in like an unattainable kind of way, but just in like like I've hit this point that I never really thought about. Now it's like, I don't know, the goalpost moves, but not in like a perfectionist kind of way.
Yeah.
Just in like I want more growth, but like, it's not something that like I like linger on. Anymore.
Which is almost like how you found your thing in a way. 'Cause it's like, do what you love. You never work a day in your life. Like, you always are working on it, but it also is like, it is work, but it isn't sometimes the way you talk about it too.
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't feel like a burden. It's work and time and energy.
It is lowercase work.
Yes, it's stuff that I still find. I find it rewarding when I do it and everything, and I still get value out of it. I like the fact that I feel like with each audio, I get a little bit better. You know, like I'm still proud of even the really early stuff because of what it was at that time. Like, my first audio is not good, but I'm proud of it because it was the first one I ever did, and I committed and I did it.
It was the best video you'd ever done at that point.
Yeah, and that's kind of how every video is. I just try to make each video you know, as good as I can in that moment, irrespective of where I've been or where I'm going to go.
Like you don't compare the videos to each other because like there will always be videos that are not as good as the other ones.
Right. Like you can't like look back and, you know,
like they're not all going to be winners.
Right. Like I feel like if you look back at any of your old work, like, you know, it's you kind of would hope that it's not going to be as good as it is now.
If you look back at your old stuff and you cringe, you're doing something right.
You're doing good.
I did that recently where I saw some like clips from like way back, like community first starting, you know, because it's almost 2 years now for me.
Yeah.
Since I created my channel. And I mentioned this before, but I was really serious about like when I had started streaming, I was like, I want 10 viewers and like 3 people that weren't my friends talking in chat. And I had finally hit that. And that was like the only time I set a goal that seemed so easy. Why even set it? And I did for whatever reason. And then like I remember breaking down and crying. It was such a good time. And then like everything's been amazing since then and has completely changed. Literally the day after that, everything changed. But there's still that moment of like, that was still like my most proud achievement because like I didn't think I could. I was like, you know what, if I can do this because it is so simple in my head, that means I can do it. I can actually do something of this. But if I can't hit that, then like it's not for me. It's okay because you don't know. Yeah. And so like for me, it's more of like I don't really necessarily like have any like benchmarks. You tend to not realize it. You just are like making small changes, changing things up, growing in different directions, and it's really when you sometimes accidentally take a look back and realize, oh shit, like fuck, you listen to like you would listen to an audio and be like, oh man, I know exactly how I made these effects. Like it's us going like you were using Audacity to make a visualizer for the podcast episodes. Like we used to record the audio separately. Like
we fought so hard.
We didn't know there was a pause button.
We didn't even think to do it like this.
No, and
it's
like
crazy.
And now like even like the questions like up on the screen are a lot nicer because it's easier for people to read. You can know what we're talking. Easier for us to stay on track.
Yeah, yeah.
We used to print them out.
I know. Yeah, it's like it's not that I don't look at the numbers because like how could you not? Like if there is a creator that like genuinely doesn't, more power to them. I don't think there are many that can genuinely not look at them.
I think you can use them as a tool. Like I was thinking about that. I'm like, maybe I should take like March to like, let's look at these analytics and see like if Twitch is telling me we recommend you play these games.
Right.
Why don't I just do a month where I'm like, we're gonna do it.
See what happens.
Because now it's not me trying something and risking. It's like, no, this is content in of itself.
Right.
Twitch says I should do this, so let's see
what happens. Yeah, like I think like they're good for like, you know, if you're looking for like deliverables, like if you feel like you like need some kind of direction, like analytics can be good for that. I mean, like I can't speak for other platforms, but like YouTube kind of shoves the numbers down your throat. Like they're at the top of everything. Yeah. Like anytime you're trying to look at anything, your comments, your performance, like how the video is doing, like they're just like right there at the top in like, you know, bullet points of like, here's how many subscribers you have. Is that a green arrow or a red arrow? Like, are you up or are you down? Like,
yeah, she mentions it lower in the comment, but she talks about how like, you know, sometimes wonder how many content creators really mean it when they say it. And I feel like YouTube 100% is.
YouTube really shoves it down your throat. Which, in fairness, I think it is better to have that information than not have it. Like Patreon, for example, doesn't, like, without getting too like inside baseball, Patreon doesn't have like great analytics on like the creator side.
I am listening. I just need to pee. I'm sorry.
It doesn't have like great analytics, so like you can't really see like post performance and stuff. And like when I do like audio, like you can look at engagement, but that's just like that one number. So like I'd be interested to see, you know, like how many listens do I have on this particular, like, you know, Patreon exclusive audio or something. So like I can kind of
how many downloads or whatever.
Yeah, so that I can kind of like get like a feel for the crowd, and you know, like you can get that from the comments, of course, but that's
not everybody needs
a comment. Exactly, a commenting audience is such a fraction of the viewing audience because I don't ever comment on anything. And so like there's something like like there could be like a video or an audio that I love. I will never put a comment on it, but I'll listen to it a million fucking times. And so it's like, it would be nice to have metrics like that. So I think it is always better to have those metrics available, but then the double-edged sword.
Are people rewatching this?
Right. But then the double-edged sword of it is that like, you can fall so quickly into that numbers focused mindset, and it is tough. Like January is a really bad month on YouTube, period. And like ever since I had to purge all those videos, my channel has done worse than it had been doing. It's back on an upswing, but it's a slow like regrowth. And so like it is tough when you feel like you're making some of the best stuff you've ever made to then see it not getting as much interaction as stuff that I think is a lot worse from myself. And that's not like compared to other creators, it's compared to myself. Like,
because it's like, it doesn't matter what you, I mean, it does matter what you think is good and doing what you want to do, but it's also valuable to have like, based on the analytics of your audience, these are the people that are choosing to watch these videos, to listen to these audios. This is what the numbers say. So it's like, it's important to take it into account, but it's also a fine line of like, don't just only do what the audience wants, because at some point you're going to lose your voice.
Right.
And then audience is going down and you like dig in and they're like, well, we're tired of it. Like, we miss your good stuff.
Right. Well, an audience taste changes all the time. Like
whatever's hot.
Different trends all the time and everything. And so it's like you can really easily end up down like a rabbit hole of you're making stuff because you think it's going to be popular, not because you like it. And like, I think you can make stuff that you don't love and it can still be good, but like over time that kind of degrades at like your own interest in the thing. And it can make you resentful of even making the stuff that you like, because then when you finally do I'm going to make this video because I want to, and you invest that much more heart into it and then it doesn't do well, then it makes you feel even worse. So it's like, the numbers are good to have, and like you can't avoid looking at them, but like, yeah, it is genuinely helpful to try to separate your interest in the creation from the numbers. Like that's a tool, and you got to try to think about it as a tool, which is really hard. Like obviously, like it's creative stuff. Like you're emotionally invested in it. How could you not be? You wouldn't be making it if you weren't. Yeah. So like it is tough to like invest a lot of time into something and then like not care about the numbers. You can't not care about them.
If you're going to start creating content, you will hit a point where you start to value the numbers too much. And it is the one piece of advice that I can give to any new person is do not let the numbers control you. I will tell you right now, you will, and that's okay.
And that's okay.
And then you'll understand what exactly I mean. And it's one of those where like, it is unfortunately probably a perfect example of I'm telling you knowing full well that like, you won't, like you'll still end up doing it because like I did it.
It's a lesson you got to learn for yourself.
Yeah, but like I am giving you a warning that like it will. You just have to, hopefully that helps you figure out that you're letting it control you sooner than later.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like you kind of got to know how it feels in order to know how to like react around it in the future.
I stopped playing Horizon Zero Dawn because I remember like I was doing so well. It was like we had like 25 to almost 30 people every stream, and I had the live view count on, even though I knew I shouldn't. And then like we were playing and it's just kind of slow, and it's just like it was like a fucking Monday, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like now I know, because I've been doing it for so long, that it's like you do the energy changes all the time, and it's just depending. Also, people are much more talkative in the first hour than they are in the fourth hour.
Right.
Like that just makes sense. And I remember like it was like we were at like 28, and then it dropped to like 24, and then it dropped to like 17, and then it dropped to 12 at one point, and I just was like done and tired. I'm like, all right, I think I'm gonna call it. I literally like ended my stream because enough people weren't watching for me. Which like take a step back and like realize, okay, I'm letting this affect me in so many ways. And a lot of it is like, well, my streams are so much more fun when you can tell that I want to do whatever it is.
Yeah, of course.
Or if it's something that I don't want to do, for example, I would like to borrow Breath of the Wild, and I got to remember to grab that from you, because like otherwise I will continue to forget.
Right.
Like, did I like it the first time I played it? Not really. But I also know that like I didn't really give it the most fair shot. I got stuck at one point and then just got mad, and it didn't capture me enough. But like for content,
right,
I am willing to put myself through personal hell for content, because like that's fun.
It becomes fun in a different way.
Yes.
Like I really wanted Callisto Protocol to be good.
Mm-hmm.
The game was not good. Had I been playing it by myself, I would have played like the first part, like 10 minutes, and then gone, I don't like this game.
Try to get a refund.
But like, because it was going bad, but there was like talking about how bad it was, it was fun in the badness.
Yeah. Or like this, it's like
better anyway.
a lot of people love and play this game. I'm like, cool, like you guys can backseat game a bit because I'm like, cool, that makes it so much easier for me because like you can just be like, go do this, go do that. Yeah. Or like, you know, the one thing that I do find it slightly annoying sometimes, but it's like, make sure you talk to this person. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm like on the lookout for this person who doesn't show up for like 20 minutes. And it's just because it's like a joke. Right. And I'm like, I understand that you were excited, but like, but it wasn't funny. How about you wait until I accidentally have passed that person? There you go. And go, hey, you should reload your save and go talk to this person. Back and I'm like, oh, okay. Because sometimes it's fun to see how, like, a great example. I know we're not on the question at all, but like Josh mentioned it, how we've been playing Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition.
That's true. We have been doing that.
And he's like, you guys do things so differently than like him or his friends have done. Where like he's like, dialogue I've never heard. I've never like talk to these people because it's like, I don't know, I'm talking to people.
I'm just talking.
Yeah,
I'm saying shit. My mouth's moving. Your lips are
moving. So, Valentine's Day. How would you describe the feeling of falling in love with someone who does not experience romantic attraction? If it's like love. I mean, I'm a Leo, so that might like I know we're laughing, but like
you externalize.
I do. I mean,
you amplify and externalize.
If I'm really on something, like if I love like anything, Celsius. You fucking know. Yeah. I won't shut up about it. Yeah. But the best way that I can describe it is in Godfather. I think it's Godfather Part 2. Okay. Where Michael, the son of Don Vito, Michael Corleone. I read the book by Mario Puzo.
My mom loves the books.
The book was really good. Yeah. I really liked the book. The movies are fine. They're good. Like, they're like classic, but like also like there are too many. I watched them a lot
as a kid. I'm just,
like the whole like when Michael's in Sicily living his life after at the end of the first one, and then like he has his wife and he's like talks about like the thunderbolt, and I'm like that resonated with me even as like a kid. I'm like that is what it's like if I feel it hard, but much like a thunderbolt, like lightning, like it. Yeah, will the storm subside at some point? Right. But like that's like really kind of doomery, but that's not the intent of just like sometimes it's just a crush, sometimes it's like genuine love, but like
no matter what the intensity,
there is a feeling like it's one of those where you just kind of know, you kind of like can't stop thinking about this person. You find yourself coming back to that person all the time. It's not necessarily like butterflies, like that could be like when you're with them, but like there could just be, a thing. And I'm assuming you do mean like romantic falling in love. Yeah. Because like, there's also like a thing of like, you can like develop feelings for like a friend that like don't ultimately go anywhere. It's like, that's weird. Why do I? And it's like, well, you just like this person a lot. Like it's not weird to like have feelings sometimes. And a lot of people don't like understand that like, it's okay to also just be like, yeah, I got feelings, but like we could still be friends still. And like it is your choice to just continue to be friends. Yeah. Tyler and I broke up and we lived together for 2 more months. And after we broke up, after my dad's heart attack, then that happened immediately after we kind of pretended we were still together just to make things a little easier. Like Tyler and I had so much more fun together in like the 2 months before she moved or the month before she moved out. Yeah. Compared to like how it'd been the last 6 months. Yeah. It was like total night and day. But like it's like, oh, finally we like
it took the weight off.
We needed to dismantle and reshape our relationship, and that like made a huge difference. So yeah. It was cool. Yeah, piss. All right, next question. Melissa Lou 69 asked,
"Hey, Stinky.
Both of you, to both of us, before comparison is the thief of joy, what did you do to combat the grass is greener on the other side thoughts / voice in your head of your creative endeavors? If you were lucky enough to not have to face those thoughts, what do you do when what you create is not coming out like what you've envisioned? I've been trying to embrace the suck when it comes to creating things. It's helping, but it's still hard."
Okay, so the first part of the question, how did I combat those feelings? I didn't, and I wallowed in them, and it was really bad. And as far as like what do you do when what you create is not coming out like what you've envisioned? I have felt that so fucking poignantly in the past, specifically about my like creation standpoint. Like obviously now I make like audio role plays, but like
you've done a lot of different creative endeavors.
But from like a creative perspective, I kind of see myself as a writer first and foremost. And then like any other creative venture has been an offshoot of that in some way. Like writing is kind of where I started, and it's been the through line through everything.
The Murder Mystery Party, like that's a very impressive thing that you've done.
Yeah, I genuinely
swag
enjoy writing in so many different forms, and
because I don't have to see you.
That part. And there is something that's like so depressing and disheartening about imagining a scene in your head and picturing it in all of its beauty and its grandeur, and you're seeing it like a movie that's living in your head in 3D space. So clearly, and it's beautiful. And then you're like, words do not convey.
I do not have the skills to express this.
And I feel like a lot of writers fall into the the trap of over explaining it because they want to convey it, and then you end up like sucking any natural flow out of the scene because you're over describing it, and in a way that like nothing else was described this much. Right. And it is so tough, and it hurts so much to be like, I have the vision, and I'm sure artists feel the same way, at least some people, like especially when they're like starting out, maybe more so, and like they know exactly what they want it to look like, and then they can't draw it that way yet or whatever, or like filmmakers probably have the same thing of like imagining like the effects, and then it's not there yet. But like from writing, I just remember it so poignantly of it's like I see it, and there is no way to like write this with that energy that I can see the scene, and that's just really tough. And I think one of the things that like I actually like has actually framed some of the things I like create about is that like I feel like through dialogue you can convey a lot more poignancy than in trying to describe like a location, a scene, a something like narratively. I feel like you can convey feelings much more powerfully than imagery through writing. And that might just
Brandon Sanderson like Stormlight Archive stuff is the epitome of like never once do you feel like you're reading Moby Dick, where you can tell if someone's trying to like word count or just like over explain. It's like so much stuff is like I'll just tell you like you already know, and like don't worry, you will eventually understand. And because it adds more realism, and it's more of like, oh yeah, someone like says something and then like they're thinking to themselves while watching something else, and it like ends up answering a question from like 100 pages ago because it was a weird one-off thing, but like it makes like it always feels like a natural flow. It never feels stilted. But like it takes a lot to get to that point.
So I think that's why like I found over the course of my writing and stuff that the scenes that I loved writing the most was like talking, like dialogue, because I was like, I feel like through dialogue I can actually convey how I feel it and how I see it, and I can actually get that across. And I feel like it was harder to get across like imagery kind of a thing. So I then like felt so much prouder and like put so much more work into like dialogue stuff, and then that sort of turned into scripting actually. And so like it now, like literally saying it like this, it makes sense, I guess, that I went into like an audio only thing. But like at the time it was just more of like a reactive thing to like, I feel like I can't convey the stuff I want to, but like I feel like I can write like talking the way I want
like to. I can add it, I can
characterize,
because like I can think of the voice in my head and then do the voice,
right? And so like that sort of became my thing. Was I found the area of writing where I was like, I feel comfortable in this, and I feel like I actually can convey what I'm trying to convey. So I leaned into that and made my stuff more dialogue heavy. And then eventually it turned into scripting where it's all dialogue, and I end up in, you know, like this audio format where there's so many limitations to making audio content. Trying to like convey a scene through sound only is so tough in some ways. Like,
but there's also like your Imperium finale was phenomenal. Or was it Imperium? Or it was, sorry.
That was Imperium. Okay.
No, I was thinking.
Inversion.
No, Inversion. The Inversion one. The Inversion one, I listened to the whole thing. It was so well done.
Thank you.
And I was genuinely like, holy shit. Like you were working on it for a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many unique difficulties, but there's also so much like freedom in it, because I don't have to worry about like describing the scene right. I don't have to worry about framing the camera right. all I have to think about is sound and dialogue. And like, because
When
only
you
like,
accept that and acknowledge it, it is so much freeing.
right. Like when you acknowledge like the limitations of that and the benefits of it, and you lean into the benefits of it and everything, like you can convey so much through sound and silence and everything. Like the pauses, like a lot of like voice actors, I think on YouTube, I should say, like the words are all there and it's really good. And the voice is there and they have good intonation and everything. But like they don't, I pride myself on the fact that like I think I have a very like natural way of like if the listener would be speaking, we'll have silence
For what I think would be an appropriate amount of time.
Yeah, I'm not out here like writing down what I think the listener would reply with. I don't think about it like that, but I think about like they'd probably take about this long to talk. And like I feel like a lot of creators are like, well, I don't want silence, I don't want dead air, like it's just audio, so I have to have
it's
audio
like,
all
can
the
you slow
time.
down? Let me breathe.
Right. It's like treat it like a conversation. Like think about like, and like when you're saying like a paragraph, like if you're saying a paragraph like and you're not reading it, if you're just talking off the cuff, sometimes you're gonna like pause and like think about like the next word you're gonna say or whatever. Like that adds realism, it adds depth. Like silence is important in an audio thing as much as sound. So yeah, it's interesting. So I think to kind of circle back to the question, yeah, it's in terms of like comparing yourself, I don't have great advice for that other than try not to. You are going to, and that's going to be tough. But in terms of like when the thing that you create isn't coming out like you envisioned, I hear you on that. I've been there on that. Try to lean into the parts of it that you feel like you can convey properly, because like that's where you'll then like really find like more joy. Because like I'm still frustrated with some parts of the process where it's like I feel like I can't convey, you know, like this through sound, and it's like, okay, well then let's maybe tweak it and focus more on exploring a different part of it, so that way like I can still get my messaging across the way I want.
This made me think of something from a game, actually. In Nier Replicant, which there was a remake that I played. I've only played the remake. It's very good. It's the prequel to Nier Automata. Very, very good, deep story stuff. And there's a society in the desert where they have thousands of rules, like thousands and thousands and thousands of rules. There's rules for every fucking thing. And a theme in their culture, because like in Nier Automata, there's robots in the desert that repeat all those things that I was just like, oh, that's weird. They're mimicking an old culture. Now that I've played the prequel, I'm like, no, those were real people. Oh, well, yeah. People is a funny word to use.
Individuals.
What is humanity truly, and sentience? But one thing that there's a thing that gets mentioned a lot that like is really poignant, where it's like rules are not there to limit you. Like rules are there so that you know your freedoms. And like picturing it of like, okay, like knowing the rules of the medium, if you can acknowledge and understand the limitations, you know how much freedoms you have. Like it's a way of like, you gotta like try to like turn around or like look at the thing from the backside, kind of. Like I know for me, one thing that I really struggle with is I do not feel like I am good enough to make good things, and like struggling with that, and like, you know, letting the fear of perfection, and if it's not going to be the best, then I don't want to make it. Like I don't even want to try. Is where, especially in the last couple of years, like since I started streaming, I've learned that like I really enjoy making a good quality shit post. Like, and I feel like there is, and I've always kind of had it, I realized too, like my RuneScape guide, a classic video that is lost to time. Even the eating of food too was, it
was so good.
Like it's so much, because it's like, I know what makes a video bad.
Right.
And you almost always can tell a shit post from just someone making a bad video.
Yes.
Like they're taking themselves too seriously. It's like, no, there's no way this isn't just like to be funny.
Yes.
And like, that's okay, because we love shit posts. So some of the best kind of content is because like, God, it's so fun to just take apart things that we're used to seeing and like hey, look at how I dissected like the conversation we're having now. And it's like, why are you getting so granular? There's no need. And it's like, fuck them. I don't know.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like fun and freedom in that. And once I started to like embrace that, it's like, okay, I can't do things the way other people can. Then don't. Like, what do you do? What do you like to do? Mm-hmm. And like, you know, think of things in layers. One other thing is like you tend to consume people's finished project, not in the way that they made it. Right. Like thinking about like Fading and I have been wanting to make a rap song. And I'm like, well, if we come up with a beat, I'm like, there's so much to a beat, but it's like, think in layers. Start with one thing, and then add another, because that's what people are doing. They're just coming up with stuff, just trying. Yeah. You have to throw shit at the wall. And if you try to like do it to yourself of like you really have to adjust your mindset when you do things. And it could be as simple as like, you know what? This month, I'm going to just make a bunch of bad content on purpose. Like that could even be even for like doing something serious, you know? Like even like your content, if you were really in a slump, like do like a fucking funny like week of audios where they're just like a shit post audio. Like you're kind of trying to be bad on purpose, but like, it can be cathartic too. And like also help you like discover things. Like our little Halloween video was so much fucking fun to make.
Hell yeah.
And it would like the result that you guys got is not what we had in our heads.
No.
Like
it's what we got iteratively.
And granted, what also helps is having a friend to kind of like bounce stuff off of, or like Moxie recently made apparently in VC like the entire weekend a whole like meme clip video of my content. It was like 8 minutes long. And it was very, very good. I was like, Moxie, this is so cool. Oh my God. Like, holy shit. It's so fucking funny. It's good. It was like all good clip. A lot of stuff out of context, of course. Is that because it's fun.
That's the haha.
It's the hee-hees. And like Moxie, like big massive kudos to you, AA Moxie. Your ass is not flat and you do have Riz. I tell them that their ass is flat and they have no Riz.
Well,
because tsundere.
Wow.
First I give them the sun, then I give them the dairy. Teespring finally sent me some of my merch that I bought a month ago.
They're really behind on a lot of stuff.
The hoodies are still in production. Like they're not even.
Yeah,
I don't think they have them.
I still haven't gotten some of my samples from like the new merch designs I did.
I was gonna wear it, but I also bought for Valentine's Day. Like Umai had a sale of like buy 3 shirts get 2 free or something like that, or buy 2 get 3 free, something like that. So I bought 5 of them, and I'm like, well then I got 5 new podcast shirts. Woo! And then I also got like my short sleeve and my long sleeve of my own merch, which looks really cool. But like, I'm like, I also wanted my lilac hoodie, and it's not even.
I have a shirt that I'm so ready to wear. I thought about it today, but I was like, no, it's cold. The Nostromo jacket, it's only going to be getting hotter. Let's use it while we got it. So
yeah,
but I'm ready.
I would have worn my long sleeve, but it's white with black. And I'm like, we're going to get, like, that burger was so greasy, I would have stained my shirt. It was a juicy burger.
Juicy boy.
Janelle's mother would have loved it.
Okay.
Her and I have this thing about this big, fat, juicy burger.
I love a juicy burger.
Yeah. Because when they were here, we were on the, like, she was called her mom at one point, and I was like, yeah, I was just having a good time, went out with a friend, had a big, fat, juicy burger. And now I'm like, I'm like, I got to learn to make a big, fat, juicy burger for your mother.
Yeah.
As I should.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then Ori actually has a question. Because you said that we had to answer this.
We have to answer this.
Origin asked, the Ludwig, smash or pass? What is the Ludwig?
That's a great question. So I was playing, Tumbling Men with Origin and some others, Senpai included, and R.I.P.
Senpai, R.I.P. Senpai,
R.I.P. Yeah. So
the shambling corpse formerly known as Sin.
Right.
Sin's still alive.
Sin's so old. So we were playing.
Sin's so old that like their clothes are made from the fabric of time itself.
That part. Sin is Strand.
You're just moving Sin.
You're just moving Sin.
That's why Sin's so emotional, because we keep moving the emotion
strands around.
Sin's like, I feel like I'm being teared by threads, and it's like Strand. They won't tell you that.
They don't tell you that. So we were playing
Fall Guys. Tumbling Men. We were playing Fall Guys.
And
Oopsie boys.
And within, it's funny actually because I'm wearing this. Within Fall Guys, they added a costume for the alien from the xenomorph from Alien.
Yeah.
And
Because the Packers are playing today.
the Packers are playing tonight. And I actually can't remember where saying Ludwig came up first. I think I was joking about the Koopaling Ludwig. And so we're like running through Fall Guys. We're in the middle of a match. Like shit's going down. Like we're all running or whatever. And I said something about like, oh yeah, like fucking like, I think this is where that
Like
came
Ludwig
from.
looking
I was
motherfucker?
like Ludwig looking ass or something or whatever. Or like, yeah, like Ludwig's running over there. Made some kind of a joke comment or whatever. And then Ori all of a sudden goes like, is that what that's called? That's a Ludwig?
Of the alien?
And she's like talking about the xenomorph. And she's like, that's the Ludwig? And like it just like sat for a second because I like didn't put it together. And then like Sin started to say something else. We were talking about something else. And I was like, hold on. You think the xenomorph is called Ludwig?
Like, no, the Ludwig.
The Ludwig.
Oh man, alien of, what's her name on the USCSS Nostromo.
Right.
It is
Ellen Ripley's there.
and she's fighting the
fighting
Ludwig.
The Ludwig.
The Ludwig.
I almost pissed myself on the VC. I was losing my mind.
I can imagine.
I was like,
absolutely.
and meanwhile, Ori's like, I don't know. Like, stop like laughing. And I was like, the Ludwig guy.
The Ludwig.
I'm here to face off against the Ludwig.
The Ludwig.
But Smash, of course.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Smash, yeah.
It's got that
It's got the mouth.
It's got that mouth.
You can kiss it and it can suck you. And that's what's up. Okay.
Suck and kiss.
Look, one more second. All right. Last question.
Like when you die.
Space Antlers asks, yay, I get a second chance at question time as I forgot to ask last week. Destiny question, because Lightfall is nearly upon us. It'll be coming out on Tuesday. What do you think of Strand, and if you're gonna try it, which class looks the best? I main Titan, but Threadrunner looks so sick. Is that the Hunter one?
Yes.
I think so.
I feel that pain. I also main Titan, but Threadrunner looks fucking sick.
I will be playing a Hunter because I main Hunter.
Hunter! What is that from?
Hunter.
What is that from? Oh no. That's a Brandon thing, and I don't know what it's from. And he does it, and I do it too. I go, Hunter! And I don't know. I spat. I
Ask
don't
him.
know what it is.
Text him.
I can't.
I'll text him.
I can't.
You know what? Let me call him.
No.
He's not busy.
I think he is.
Well, he won't be when he takes my call.
I think it's actually. Oh, wait. It is from Destiny. What is it from?
You know what's funny? I type Brandon's phone number, even though I have his number saved, because I just know it.
Yeah. What is the Hunter? I hope that is a Brandon meme. I can't remember.
Hey, so Rick and I are recording the podcast, and he ended up going like, Hunter! And he couldn't, he's like, I'm pretty sure it's a me and Brandon meme. But like, do you know what he's talking about, what it's from? I'm putting you on speaker.
Age of Empires.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Age of Empires 2.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chopper.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks, bud.
I'm glad I can clear that up for you.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for pulling that shit
Thanks,
up, Jamie.
man.
All right, later.
All right, bye.
It is Age of Empires.
It's good to know.
Rise and Fall is where I get Imperial Archer. Similar vibe.
Okay.
Work.
Yeah. I think Strand looks really cool. I think it's honestly a lot more interesting than Stasis.
I don't know why I don't like Stasis because I love ice powers. In any game, that's what I always want. I love ice. Ice bonkles, my favorite bonkles. I love ice. It
was such a pain to get ice powers.
That is exactly it. It was the first one where you had to get all of like...
You had to like do stuff every week if you wanted if you unlocked the wrong aspect for your build, like because you were just exploring.
It was a horrible rollout of a new power.
Like,
it was awful.
Just let us fucking have it,
It was
man.
fucking awful. And so by the time
Like, what is this, Destiny 1? Where you had to like level up each class to get the good things?
But almost worse because this feels like time gated because it's like, well, every week a couple new, like, you know...
When you played in Beyond Light.
Back in the day. And like by the time I was a little late getting back into it when Stasis had come out. And so everyone was already using it because it was way overpowered. And so like it ruined Crucible, which like I'm not big on Crucible, but I was trying to level back up. So I was doing Crucible. And I was like, this is god fucking awful. I feel completely out of
something
like
similar from D2.
Yeah. I felt like completely like out of my element, and I was like, they've like ruined this for me, and I can't even try to like participate in it because it's taking me forever to unlock everything.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
I want to go back to it now that it's completely like
finished.
Anyone can do it, and I think I would appreciate it
I
more.
do. I will say that.
But probably not on my Titan, probably on like a Warlock.
I feel like Stasis shined on the Warlock because they got like that fun roaming super. Titans just got another snap. Granted, it is slightly different. It is a little different.
It is.
And like the Hunter one, like I just like you make like a zone and it like can deal damage. Like it's fun, and like I like you doing like the essentially ninja stars basically, like you throw out or whatever they are. But like any challenge where it's like you need to like break break walls of ice and shit, it's like you have to shatter stuff. Like it is so fucking hard to shatter shit on the Hunter. Oh, it's like, well, you get shatter dive, and I'm like, it still sucks. Like I don't care. And Strand, at least, what I like about Strand from what I have seen is that there is utility for it outside of combat.
Yes.
The like you can do your Thunder Crash and I can latch onto you and we can fucking go.
Yeah.
Like that seems really fucking cool and fun.
The only thing that I'm like, I feel like the campaign of Lightfall is probably going to be built around using Strand as like the grapple and stuff.
Oh, so that like platforming stuff's harder.
So I feel like for this, just the campaign, they're probably gonna like kind of almost force Strand by nature of like design.
I don't think that's necessarily bad though.
No, I don't think so. I think that's a good way to kind of force people to like get a sniff of it.
Like, hey, we're gonna like. I hope that the way they do it is they don't do it like they did with Stasis, where it's locked behind shit.
Yeah.
Or like whatever is currently available is what everyone has access to if you're playing.
Yep.
Like then that's cool. Like then there's 2 new aspects or whatever they want to do to dole out.
I hope it like starts basically at like when it like when like Arc 3.0 or 2 was it 2.0 or 3.0? 3.0. Like whenever
2.0 was the Go Fast update.
Whenever any of those elements came out, I hope it comes out like that, where it's like
you just got to go dump the money.
Everything. Go
talk to Ikora.
Use a little money, get all your grenades, and then just like figure it out. Build craft to your heart's extent. I really hope they're not gonna like lock parts of it behind like different weeks or whatever.
Seasonal models have like hurt Destiny in my opinion.
I agree, and I hope they also don't like.
They just make me apathetic.
I also hope they don't like lock it behind like a raid or something.
I don't think so.
Because they've done that before, where it was like new things unlock once the raid is complete. Because like once like anyone has finished the raid, because like it almost feels silly because it's like the vast majority of Destiny players are not going to be attempting a day 1 raid. So it's like it's basically the same thing as saying like this thing will unlock in a week, because it's just saying because like someone's gonna beat the raid day 1.
If it's an ability, I don't think so. But I will say it was something that I don't think we expected with the Last Wish raid, where like I remember like I was watching some of like the day 1 stuff, and then I'd stopped caring. The 2402, never forget. And then the like next time I logged into Destiny, it's like people like whether you were part of it or not, like the Last Wish has been completed.
Yep.
And congrats, y'all just fucked everything up.
Yes.
That and like and
that
then
was like story.
Yeah,
that
like that's what I mean. Like where it's like now the Dreaming
good.
City is on a 3-week cycle, like a battery.
Yeah.
And it's like fucked up, and like everyone knows
cool.
they're in a loop, and they can't do anything about it. But a loop localized just to the Dreaming City.
That one was cool. I can't think of the example, but there was one where they were like certain elements of this like subclass or whatever won't unlock until like the raid has been beaten.
Oh.
I cannot remember what it was for the life of me. And it was just such a weird choice, because it's like it's arbitrary, because someone's going to beat the raid on day 1. So just say it's unlocking a week later. And in that case, why are you releasing it a week later? Is it literally because you don't want people to have it in the raid because it's broken?
Or like or are you gonna do a story reason?
Yeah, because it's like,
which even then feels a little arbitrary. Because
hard
what if you don't do the raid? Then it doesn't make sense that you took
you would
this
get
thing.
it. Yeah.
They are also, they're kind of in a rock and a hard place though. You know what I mean? Like to give them a little bit of like benefit of the doubt, like it's a cool concept, but you cannot make everyone happy.
Yeah, for sure. And like I don't have a problem with conceptually a seasonal model where like new things unlock over the week, and like, yeah, you can't like rush the whole season. You have to come back every week. It's not my favorite, but like has value. I get it. I don't think you should lock the tools of something as fundamental as a subclass behind like things will unlock every week.
Yeah.
Because like that's such a fundamental like framing of the game. That
Just let us have fun, man.
I think you should have all of those tools in your pocket from the start, because like that affects every element of the game. Like seasonality wise, like there are things that like, you know, you can unlock every season. Like, oh, now you can get an extra drop every week.
Yeah.
Now you can like,
or like the seasonal artifact mods, which apparently for Lightfall, like they're really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or apparently, which is like, that's fun. Cause then it's like, hey, like there was that season where like everyone's playing solar a bit more often. I was. And like it was real fun, but also at the same time, after a certain amount of time, unless it's really good with that specific like subclass, like with the mods and the interactions, it's like you just kind of default back to like I just kind of always am running Arc because like it's good. Yeah, I mean I should run Void more often, but I like being able to do damage with my super.
Yeah, I only really like not solar. I only really like Arc, Titan. I'm not huge on Void, but I did get very into Season of the Void when it was like when it was Void 3.0. I really enjoyed it, but not for the super, which like your subclass is not all.
The
about
barrier
the
shield is
super.
cool, like where you shoot, because you have to get everyone to shoot through it, and they don't,
and no one does. Yeah. I ended up liking it, but I didn't like it from a super perspective. I was like, okay, everything else in this loop works well. The grenades into ability.
Well, you guys have that like, or like same thing with Warlocks. Warlocks have like Nezarec Sin, which is great for Void builds.
So I ended up not disliking Void Titan, but like it had nothing to do with the super and everything to do with everything else. And then as soon as they made Solar 3.0 and Arc 3.0, it was like I can just as easily get that from the other things. It was Void because Void was the only one that was doing
at the time.
And I didn't really play much of the Solar season.
Yeah, it was okay. Like
that was the Season of the Reaper, I
guess. Yeah, like Hunter's got like the thing is like I'm always going to use Blade Barrage because under pressure I can't aim. Like
I loved playing as
the gunslingers.
The very brief period where I was playing as my Hunter that I make look like a little baby Titan, I was having so much fun with throwing the stick.
Oh yeah, the dynamite. Yeah,
that was so fun.
The big dynamite.
The staff.
Oh, the arc staff. Yeah. The Tesla coil
that will stick in people's heads and shit. That was so fun.
That's why I like it. They made the staff fun.
That one was really cool. Like I don't like most Hunter stuff, but that super and like that grenade loop and everything, because you could now do whatever grenades you wanted. So I could do like the lightning grenades that I'm used to from Titan. Like I was like, this is fun.
You want to know a hot take?
I'm ready for
that. Like. I think a lot of people would agree, but we don't want to say it. Is that like, look, I love my Hunter, ride or die Hunter. I love her ass. She's also great in other ways. She's bald, much to my chagrin, and I cannot fix it. She's just
ahead of the times.
You're right.
We're gonna be there with her.
We will. Mega Minds. But look, and like in Titan is a very like I very much so. You would think with every core of my being that I would play Titan, but I play Hunter. But I play Hunter like a Titan, where I'm like, I am an inkillable thing.
Punching. Yeah.
Running and punching. Every time that you see a video about some new broken build, what class is it for?
Warlock.
It's always War. Like I feel like Warlock is overall most of the time the best class, and I play it the least.
I like playing,
and I
Warlock,
like playing it. Yeah,
I really like it, and it's so funny to me because like. Everyone who I've talked to who knew Destiny but doesn't know much about me playing with Destiny has been like, oh, you seem like Warlock. Do you like Warlock? And then I'm like, you would think that. Yeah. But no, I'm a Titan. Because it's weird. Like Brandon literally because Brandon played Destiny before I ever did. And he was like, I think you should play this game. He's what got me into Destiny. And he was like, you'll like Warlock. He's like, that seems like you. And I tried it. I was like, this is good. I was like, the jump doesn't make sense. And I was like, I'll make a Titan just to see.
The jump is the hardest thing of the Warlock.
And I made a Titan just to see, and I was like, this is my personality now. Which is funny because, like, everything before Destiny, I was very much like, I'm the wizard class, I'm a warlock, I'm whatever.
Summoner,
whatever's in that realm.
Druid, yeah. Magic.
Destiny changed me, and I was like, no, Titan, I'm big and I'm juicy and I'm gonna fight. And so then in Dragon Age Inquisition, I was like, no, I'm a big bruiser. I'm a two-handed weapon bruiser.
I think I ended up playing the same class that you did, just because like you had so much fun playing it.
It was so fun, and I was like, Destiny pivotally shifted like my character class interests, which is wild.
That was like in D&D for me, where like my first character was a bard, and I would have legitimate like so much anxiety and stress at high level content because like the amount of options and like one wrong move, and I have like a simulacrum of myself with also all of my spells and abilities, and it's just like, okay, like I have to do so much work, and they're like, Steve, come on, and I'm like, I am trying, and then like I'm like, I'm gonna play a rogue where I hide and I roll lots of dice, like, and I love Titus, where I'm like, I just want to run up and I'm gonna punch you. And like, because dude, like sometimes barbarians are the most fun class to play.
Sometimes just punch.
I just want to hit shit. Like I don't want to have to do a bunch of abilities. I want to tank a lot of damage, and I want to fucking kill shit.
Yeah,
and that's a vibe.
That's a vibe.
And people are like, well, you're not even nearly as good of a gamer if you can't like handle all the intricacies of wizards. And it's like, if you like all of that micromanagement, like more power to you. Like I think that's so cool.
Sometimes you also just want good, clean fun.
Yeah, like
brain off.
I want to brain off, roll dice. Like I want my turn to be like I just roll.
Yeah.
And like okay, and I do damn like I'm one of those guys where, because we also had like 7 people back when we played at Denny's, so it's like this takes a while. Is when you roll for attack, like you roll your damage dice with it, but you don't bother looking at it until you've seen if you hit. Yeah. But that way it's not roll. Okay, roll. Now I have to roll. It's like no, you just do it all at once. More confidence. Yeah. But the Threadrunner looks really cool.
It looks really cool.
The city looks cool. I'm excited, and it seems like there's like, I mean, because there's also like the main campaign, but then there's also like the seasonal content.
Yeah, the war at home.
Yeah, which I'm like, there's going to be a little bit.
Devram Gay is back.
Yes, and he's there. Also, did you see when like the cutscene with the Traveler leaving and then not leaving? There was some gay representation when like Saint put his arm around him, and we're like, Stephanation and I last night were like, yes, they did one for us. Let's go for the gays.
They're gonna cut it out of the cutscene in Russia and China. No, but it was good.
It was good. And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, how come they didn't like make out?
Right, Traveler's leaving.
Give
Let's
us real,
fuck right here
like,
in the tower.
Like fake representation.
I want to see Saint's big robo dong.
Look, as the A and ally.
Respectfully.
But also I feel like that was a good amount of representation where like, no, it's not. Yeah,
like
it's
taking comfort in the person.
The exact same thing would have happened if it was a hetero couple, and you wouldn't have thought anything of it. Yeah. You know, and it's like, no, it's just normal. Like, yeah, they just embrace. Like, it's like, oh, I know that they're together. That's really sweet.
Yeah. They did let them kiss in that one drawing cutscene, and I was like, they kissed.
Yeah,
they kissed.
Good kid.
Put robot tongue in mouth.
His robo dong. Yeah. It hits just right.
Yeah. Osiris is the bottom.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have time to fuck. He's too busy reading. Absolutely.
He just rolls over.
Absolutely is just like, are you done? Like does not care. Yeah. He's too busy. Like
he's studying.
He's got his 7 different time forms pleasing him too. No, he's literally like, Saint's like, Osiris, are you with me? And he goes, yeah. And you just see like all of his little like, be here with me in this moment. Very cute.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so okay, yeah. Well, that was a lot of fun. Huh?
No. The
yeah.
Below it. Yeah.
There we go. So yeah, well, this was a lot of fun.
Oh I feel God, like, it was 3 hours.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's only 140. I mean, it's like 140. So
yeah,
which is still like.
I promised the video by the end of the weekend. It's not the end of the weekend.
You're right, but like we don't have to hang out a whole long time because we've been able to pause and stuff.
Well,
so.
I've gotten some comments that were like, they're like, I keep refreshing. They're like, clock's ticking. I'm like, weekend ain't over yet.
Bitch, stop.
I'm like, my time, 11:59, my time. It's still this weekend, and I'm not late
yet. That's what's up. All right, thank you guys. This was really fun. Yeah, I mean, enough that it was over 3 hours.
We had a good time.
Didn't even kind of realize it.
What is horn? Is that like the? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is a lot of fun.
Good time, gal.
Yeah. So when are we gonna write some good comments about like things if you want? Because like we do like reading them, and then also we'll have to go bald.
Someday.
We might just have to just say fuck it and do it. I don't know. Go wild.
Yeah.
So
I don't think I'm gonna look good.
no.
When you're bald, just once, please paint yourself blue and be Megamind Steve.
Absolutely.
Like, how could you not?
I have to.
You have to.
I will go bald. As long as you go bald with me, I will go Megamind Steve. If that helps.
Listen,
I mean, not that you
when the
needed me
time
to sweeten
comes,
the pot.
When
anymore.
the day comes, when we decide line in the sand.
Chat, do you want Megamind Steve?
I don't know if I can, like...
The meme of... Sorry, what were you saying? I'll remember this.
We also have to decide when the time comes if we're going to show the process of becoming the bald.
That's a conversation for later.
Because I don't know if I can handle that, because I may have a mental breakdown. And I don't know if I can do that
It'd be like
live.
Apocalypse Now.
Yes. I don't know if I can do that live on camera. But think of the clicks, Jake.
The Jake. It's the meme of one of my favorite memes of like checking out $10 every day from the library and adding another layer of latex until they notice, and he's just got this big cranium.
I love that other one, like the one where it's like day 5 of making my boss's eyes bigger on like the website, the company website. It's just like they keep getting bigger and bigger.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, have a good one. You guys will see this in a few hours. Bye.
Bye.